Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on this live Tuesday edition. We just played that Captain America intro. And no, I don't believe the New World Order conspiracy is a Nazi conspiracy. But I do know that the Nazi conspiracy was part of the globalist eugenicist larger tree, larger program. And that's why what we see with the black uniforms and the checkpoints and the surveillance and the political manipulation is so similar to the Nazis on so many fronts is because it came out of those sciences of social control developed in Europe, the United States, and England, as well as Russia, in the last 2 centuries. We also see a lot of parallels with Soviet and communist oppression, because the very same robber barons that finance both Bolshevik communism and Nazism are in control of much of the planet today and are busy mopping up countries that they don't control or haven't overthrown yet, and are busy trying to mop up the freedoms, the vestigial freedoms, the ceremonial freedoms that are still left. Compartmentalization is what allows the social engineers to get away with this. But at the same time, it's compartmentalization that really never allows the globalists to get their full plan in place, because their own people aren't usually evil. They're just ignorant of the larger program that they're part of. The problem is with computers and centralization, it allows total micromanagement of police, military, and the constabulary, the so-called security services, as well as the media services and the bureaucracy, so that you can basically get automaton, robot-level submission and take free will and human judgment out of the equation. So before they bring in the robots and the computers to replace humans, they're using robot, computer, surveillance, smart grids to control and socially engineer humans to become biological androids in our own right. So it's not even so much that we're going to be defeated or overtaken by machines as that we are going to become machines. And that's what every establishment wonk, from Ray Kurzweil right down the line, says the plan is. So when we talk about this, this is not Alex Jones up here with some foggy notion of what I believe is coming. That's what's so frustrating. 95% of this or more. Almost said 98, but it's more like 95% of this plan is public. It's all standardized. It's all being rolled out. It's just the public and the police and the military and the bureaucracy is told it's all being done for one cover story reason, when it's got a whole nother reason behind it. And you can go to the textbooks, the white papers, the different globalist publications, and you can see them saying that and bragging about their program. U.S. spy agency predicts a very transhuman future by 2030. That's only 15 years away, boys and girls. Remember when 2030 sounded like a million light years from us? And that's what the NSA and DARPA and the CIA are all saying, because they're building that world, and they're building a world that ends our free will. And that's my biggest issue with the globalists and their plan. I don't want wars. I don't want to try to be some politico. I'm not up here trying to be a big shot. I'm up here trying to build the best, most focused platform I can to get humanity to have a debate and discussion about what's going on right now. I mean, look at that headline. DARPA's cortical modem will plug straight into your brain. Who needs tech specs when you could have a $10 HUD or HUD on your visual cortex? And this is where it's going. And I've talked many times about, I wish some cartoonist or someone should create a video, create a animation where it shows the birth of media, stone tablets, and basically then the printing press and things like that, and then accelerating up to telegraphs, and then telephone, and then radio. And suddenly everyone in the house is together around the radio. It's the center of the family now, not the father, not the mother, repeating the ancestral common sense knowledge on to their children. Now the radio is the center of the household, the center of our life. Now, for the first time, a central system is able to program. And suddenly, it's not just the president saying a chicken in every pot, you're going to get everything free under socialism, FDR. Suddenly, it's a television set. And now you're not at the dinner table at all. You're all facing the television, looking straight at it, mesmerized. And then it's computers, and then it's handheld computers, and then it's Google glasses and Microsoft glasses, and then it's contact lenses, and then it's a brain port. My uncle has epilepsy from a motorcycle accident. He's got a port, he's got a chip, and it helps him. He doesn't have seizures anymore. It's amazing. He doesn't have to take the medication anymore, so he's a different person. There's good things about this, except there's a globalist tentacle of control in all of it, and they're bringing in a system that is meant to end our world as we know it in a very bad way. Unlimited, omnipresent, almost, but on this planet, near omnipresent surveillance, but still in the hands of wicked men. Stay with us.
It's no secret that government and big business buy in bulk and get huge discounts not available to the little guy. Until now. Introducing a breakthrough crowd buying website where people can join together, buy in bulk, and get massive discounts on millions of popular products. It's TogetherSave.com. TogetherSave.com. You can save 20, 30, or even 50% off tablets, smartphones, cars, appliances, textbooks, sports equipment, video games, and much more. All with free delivery. Check it out. TogetherSave.com. Visit now and start group buying today at TogetherSave.com.
Hey there, Guns80.com continues to surprise us with low prices and high-quality Ghost AR-15 rifle kits. At Guns80.com, Ghost AR-15 kits are an even better idea than buying at gun shows or through private parties, because the Ghost AR-15 kits at Guns80.com require no background checks, no registration. They don't even have serial numbers. That's what I call privacy. Go to Guns80.com to order your Ghost AR-15 rifle kit. No dealers, no hassles, ship direct. Guns80.com or 844-2GUNS80. That's 844-248-6780.
The month of February is all about Valentine's Day. Big heart-shaped boxes filled with delicious candy. What if we, the Patriots, hijacked Valentine's Day and instead made it about human liberty and individual empowerment? I'm all about human potential. I'm all about the individual being empowered. The establishment is the opposite. That's why they spike our water with fluoride and GMO, estrogen mimickers, and the rest of the garbage. InfoWars is striking back in the month of February with Human Empowerment Month. How we can come together and win the human race. And to celebrate the kickoff of Human Empowerment Month, we're slashing prices on InfoWarsLife.com products like Super Male and Super Female Vitality. The sale is only running for the month, 20% off, and there's a lot of other powerful specials at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsLife.com, celebrating human potential in the month of February. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to find this special and many others in the month of February. Again, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
Big business has discovered the preparedness market, and that makes it difficult to know where to go and who to trust. MyPatriotSupply.com is owned and operated by patriots just like you. Has the best prices on storable food, non-GMO seeds, water filtration devices, home canning equipment, survival and self-reliance books, and more. MyPatriotSupply.com has old-fashioned values and the absolute best customer service in the industry. Look for the deal of the day. Unique, affordable survival supplies that fit anyone's budget. Get same-day shipping on all orders and free shipping on orders over $49. Call 866-229-0927, 866-229-0927, or visit MyPatriotSupply.com for emergency preparedness, self-reliance, and food independence. Shop with a name you know and a name you can trust. Before it's time to survive, it's time to prepare. MyPatriotSupply.com.
It's time to kick some ash. Because cigarettes have met their match. Smokers are switching to Vaporite e-liquid by LeSig. Because when you kick ash, you kick tar and smelly smoke too. LeSig smokes the competition with real people customer service, a 7-day satisfaction guarantee, and same-day fast free shipping. Become a vapor today at LeSig.com. Spelled LECIG.com. LeSig e-cigarettes. Kick some ash.
Virtually anyone can hack your cell phone and track your calls, your texts, your emails, your every movement, but only if they can detect a signal. Stay one step ahead of hackers and Big Brother with a Blockit Pocket, a custom-made pocket infused with pure silver that creates a complete Faraday enclosure for your cell phone. For free shipping to the lower 48, visit blockitpocket.com or call 888-315-9618. Blockitpocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Earlier, I went off into just the big picture, the 50,000 feet view of things. I can't help it. Just an emergency beacon, like a radio beacon warning people away from a site of serious problems, serious danger. I'm just here warning people about the stated globalist plan that guides the planet openly. It's so frustrating that it's in all these public statements, and it's the guiding principle. And there's just a bunch of arrogant, power-hungry mobsters and gangsters who are openly, arrogantly overthrowing common sense. I mean, look at all this news I've got. Let me just give you some headlines. Our rights do not come from God. That's the headline. In fact, let's play this clip of Governor Cuomo right now.
Because our rights contained in the Bill of Rights do not come from the Constitution. They come from God. It's clearly stated in the Declaration of Independence.
Our laws do not come from God, Your Honor, and you know that. They come from man.
Well, let me ask you one question. Chris. Is the Declaration of Independence law?
You would call it organic law as a basis for future laws off of it.
I would call it the organic law because the United States Code calls it organic law. It is organic law because the law of this country calls it the organic law of our country, means where our rights come from.
Now, that's Cuomo's brother, who's an anchor. I have another headline here with a quote, and David Knight did a report on it, where Cuomo made similar statements. And it was Governor Cuomo that said, if you are a gun owner, believe in the Second Amendment, or pro-life, get out of the state. And the media a few days later said, you want to clarify that? Are you serious? He said, yeah. I said, get out. So this is the gangsterish, arrogant, just over-the-top attitude of these people. Now, there's some good news. Federal judge stalls Obama's executive action on immigration. A Texas judge in South Texas yesterday temporarily blocked President Barack Obama's executive action, his tyrannical action, his dictatorial action on immigration, giving a coalition of 28 states time to pursue a lawsuit that aims to permanently stop the orders. Yeah, I mean, imagine if they said President George Washington decided to open these borders without Congress's approval. I mean, it's over the top. Over the top, over the top. There's just not words to describe how brazen this is, and there's not that big an uproar except by supposedly right-wing racist media. Right-wing racist media? You can't just, Nigeria doesn't have open borders, Mexico doesn't have open borders. You sure can't get there and be given free health care and tax refunds. And listen, it gets worse. I've known about this for years, but here's the headline today. Outraged, Border Patrol ordered to release all illegal alien drunk drivers. Quote, the judge, allow them to go on their way. I've had Travis County prosecutors in my office showing me the transcripts. When we did reports on it a few years ago, I couldn't use their names, of course, of where they're ordered to let aggravated felons go. I'm talking about arsonists and people. And of course, that's in the news, but it's just different when you're actually talking to the prosecutor. They will throw the book for a crooked toenail at you for anything. But if you're an illegal alien, you are above the law. I mean, it is just... It's like they're super people or something, that they can just do whatever they want, have as many IDs as they want, and they're used by criminal groups, the Democratic Party, and others to launder money and as cutouts. That's why they're allowed to operate like this. They're allowed to get the tax refunds. Remember 2 weeks ago it came out, oh, the illegals are going to be able to get tax refunds the day they get here. And there were articles years ago in USA Today where one home in Austin was like $86 million in tax refunds and no investigation, and 100-something million at one home in Atlanta. Billions and billions of dollars total. And they're allowed to do this because the FBI and others are told, do not get involved. If you were caught driving while intoxicated and happen to be an American citizen, then you're going to be arrested, fined, and potentially jailed, and rightfully so. But driving under the influence of alcohol, drugs, you are putting the lives of others in danger when you drive on public roads, says Max Slavo, writing here in the article. But it goes on. But as we've come to learn in recent years, if you're an undocumented alien, he used the political correct term, an illegal alien, who has entered the country illegally, the laws don't apply to you. And not only you get to break the law by entering the United States without authorization, but you also get free health care, housing, food, and tax refunds, even if you falsified your employment paperwork. And then Judicial Watch got the document, they got a link to it here, that directs the 4,000-plus U.S. Border Patrol agents in the Tucson, Arizona sector to, quote, release individuals under the influence and allow them to go on their way. The document acknowledges that this feels counterintuitive, but goes on to order the Border Patrol, quote, therefore, there is generally no liability that will attach to the agent or agency for failing to act on this situation, and explains how they've been given a Homeland Security memo to basically have them be above the law. I mean, this is over the top, and it illustrates everything. A lawless criminal government.
The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
The month of February is all about Valentine's Day. Big heart-shaped boxes filled with delicious candy. What if we, the Patriots, hijacked Valentine's Day and instead made it about human liberty and individual empowerment? I'm all about human potential. I'm all about the individual being empowered. The establishment is the opposite. That's why they spike our water with fluoride and GMO, estrogen mimickers, and the rest of the garbage. InfoWars is striking back in the month of February with Human Empowerment Month. How we can come together and win the human race. And to celebrate the kickoff of Human Empowerment Month, we're slashing prices on InfoWarsLife.com products like Super Male and Super Female Vitality. The sale is only running for the month, 20% off, and there's a lot of other powerful specials at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsLife.com, celebrating human potential in the month of February. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to find this special and many others in the month of February. Again, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems and enhance overall health. Introducing the new InfoWarsLife.com oil of oregano formulation, a highly advanced nutraceutical form of this key herb that has been traditionally used by civilizations for thousands of years to promote health. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market, sourced from top leading manufacturers to ensure a concentrated level of bioactive ingredients. Extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules, you will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Wild crafted from the Mediterranean oregano species that experts agree is one of the most powerful and most challenging to acquire. This winter season, it's more important than ever to secure this true form of oil of oregano. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with Super Male or Super Female Vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor just won't quit.
From the Infowars.com studios, it's Alex Jones.
We're here, ladies and gentlemen. We're live. Is it not unspeakably insane? I want to go back into this issue of the illegals being above the law. That the illegals are released by the hundreds of thousands per year, according to federal documents, for things like aggravated assault, burglary with a weapon, arson, child molestation, you name it. And that's why all over the world, but particularly Latin America, because that's the group that's really protected, it's part of merging the countries into this super union. That's why you have all these serial killers and people fleeing, coming here. They get a new identity, and then they are above the law. It is mind-blowing. And I was just reading from Judicial Watch. According to Judicial Watch, the Obama administration has ordered all Border Patrol agents to stop apprehending illegal aliens who have been detained for drunk driving. Yes, you read that correctly. Not only are illegal aliens being released and their violations of the U.S. immigration law being ignored, but now, even if they are hammered drunk, the Border Patrol has been advised to let them go on their way while under the influence. And I told the story and shot video of it in Big Bend last year. The illegals were coming across the border, and then vans were picking them up, and they were driving off, and the Border Patrol was there with the park rangers, armed police park rangers, and I was sitting there in a hot spring, a natural hot spring, with like 5 people throwing a football. And we heard a and we turned around, and there was a police officer, park rangers, that, you know, 2 types, park rangers and then the sworn ones with the guns. And I was like, what are you doing? We went, nothing. We paid admission to the park. We're there throwing a football to each other. And then just smiled and stared at us weird. And I was like, really, you're actually, and I want to explain something. 150 feet across were illegals. And they were going back and forth and doing whatever they wanted. And they were riding over on horses and crapping right in front of the Border Patrol. In fact, I have video of it, of the horse going to the bathroom right by the Border Patrol. Because this country is a joke. But they wanted me to know, and I'm not saying Border Patrol are bad. This was a park ranger. And I'm not saying all park rangers are bad, but they're some of the most arrogant. Statistically, I've had more bizarre experiences with Border Patrol, I mean with park rangers, than with anybody else. Because they're mainly a bunch of fake anti-human environmentalists that are taught that humans are a problem. And it's a problem that you're at the national park. It's a problem that you're there doing things. It's a problem that you're having a good time. It's a problem. We are now, if you're a TV viewer, showing the footage of the horse. Parental discretion is advised. I'm being sarcastic. We are showing video, but it's not really parental discretion advised. Big deal. Horse going to the bathroom. And you have to understand, right down the river were Border Patrol trucks sitting there. And then this guy just continues to go riding around doing whatever he wants. And here we are committing the super crime of playing with the football. And right after I put my phone up, they asked, what are you doing? What do you think you're doing to the whole group? And we're just looking at each other like, what do you think we're doing? You know, there's a couple of women in bikinis in the Springs, a couple guys. I mean, and then I found them in the parking lot writing people tickets. They would look in people's ice coolers and would find beer and would give them tickets. But the illegal aliens are allowed to get hammered drunk and come across on their canoes and do whatever they want. And I'm not even against these poor illegals wanting a better life. If I was one of them, you could get free health care and you could get drunk drive everywhere. If I was a criminal, you know, I could rob banks and not get in trouble, basically. I mean, it's getting to that level. And as this crime wave hits, it's, oh, give us more of your liberty, give us more of your freedom. Oh, the local police are going to spy on your cell phones now in your location to keep you safe. No. This is not to keep us safe. Obtained by Judicial Watch this week, the notice is titled Enforcement Options with Alcohol-Impaired Drivers, and directs that 4,000-plus U.S. Border Patrol agents in the Tucson, Arizona sector to release individuals, close quote, under the influence and, quote, allow them to go on their way. The document acknowledges that this feels counterintuitive. What, training government to ignore laws selectively, officially? That's the essence of tyranny. Continuing, the document acknowledges that this feels counterintuitive for Border Patrol agents, but eases concerns by answering the hypothetical question for the officers who have sworn to uphold the law. If you allow this driver to continue down the road and they kill someone, aren't you liable? The answer is no. Folks, that is a lie. You are liable because you're sworn, but even if you were a citizen and consciously knew, you would then be aiding and abetting like a bartender giving somebody 10 drinks. Let me just read this, though, from the document itself, okay? I mean, you cannot make this up. The document acknowledges that this feels counterintuitive for Border Patrol agents, but eases concerns by answering a hypothetical question for the officers who have sworn to uphold the law. If you allow this driver to continue down the road and they kill someone, aren't you liable? The answer is no. And 2 plus 2 does not equal 4. I'm sorry, let me go back. According to the new Department of Homeland Security DHS memo, there is no legal, I'm quoting, there is no legal requirement for a Border Patrol agent to intervene in a state crime, including DUI, the order says, adding that, therefore, there is generally no liability that will attach to the agent or agency for failing to act in the situation. So they're claiming like you're the ATF. And, well, they're not, you know, there to investigate bank robberies. They're just to investigate illegal guns or explosives or alcohol. You know, they're revenuers. They're the original whiskey revenuers. That's why they're so nasty. From the whiskey wars. One of the oldest federal agencies out there doing this stuff. That argument doesn't hold up here because they're sworn officers, and if they see a crime being committed, they're supposed to then call locals to deal with it. If it's on federal land, they're supposed to take them to jail. That's what the law says. Everybody knows that. But beyond that, I have seen the Border Patrol writing tickets and putting people in handcuffs who weren't even drunk. American citizens. But because they were a bunch of UT alumni lawyers, that was funny enough, that's who they were arresting, in cowboy hats who had little containers, little ice chest of Coors Light. Their only crime was that they weren't drinking real beer. Nothing against Coors Light, it's just it is not real beer in my view. But you can drink your Coors Light. I certainly liked it in college. It was cheap. And the point is, I'll take a Chimay if I'm drinking beer. I like some Belgian ale. Side issue. We're here looking at this. It's just crazy. And I remember my friends were there. Rob Doing people were there. And I was getting really upset. And they said, well, let's get the cameras out. And I said, you know what? We're on a working vacation. We've already shot some reports. Let's go hiking. We had our kids there. My son, his son. And Richard Reeves was there. We took the bus down. And I just said, fine. I just looked at those Border Patrol and those people. They're just victims of evil. They'll have all their freedoms taken as well. When you can selectively, and because this isn't new, this is just now officially in memos. Because even though the judges cut them loose, Border Patrol, state police, and local police just continue to arrest the illegals. And then their unions stand up for them a lot of times. The problem is now the unions have been threatened and infiltrated, so they won't. And so the Travis County sheriff, who's liberal, black, will every week. I think they said it's three or five guys. Search engine it. Search engine Travis County sheriff deportations. I want to say it's like 3 or 5. I've seen different numbers. Sometimes as high as 15 people in a city of 2 million people, a county of 2 million people in the county. He's deported between 3 and 15 people. And they're all aggravated felons. And the Democrats are trying to unseat him now. And he said, it's the law. They're rapists. They're armed robbers. And he calls the feds down to the jail to get them. And the feds, by the way, all over the country, will not show up to get the illegals. So this is a lawless, evil revolution against our country. It is totally unfair. It is total fraud. And it shows political correctness. I mean, they could pass Obamacare, doubling and tripling prices, death panels, written by insurance companies. Some insurance companies have doubled their profits. On average, they're up 47% globally. Global insurance companies just off the U.S. deal. So when you say double, that's mainly U.S.-based ones have doubled or tripled. Some of them even more. In fact, don't believe me, just search insurance company triples profits on Obamacare. I've seen those headlines. But worldwide, 47% increase in profits worldwide in the last year. Just off the gang raping of the American people. And folks, it's going to get worse because we're wide open. We're submitting to tyranny. People are confused. They don't know what's going on. And so now it is wide open, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, there's the headline. It says that in the last 6 years, he's deported 5,000 people. And I know he slowed down to almost nothing, but that's still almost nothing in a county of 2 million. And now they're trying to get rid of him. And there's the headline, the sheriff's defense. Big national news stories, and then halfway down they go, his defense for what he's doing. Oh, he's so horrible. Pretty soon it'll be, what's your defense for even pulling an illegal over? Well, they were driving down the wrong side of the road and hit 3 cars. That's a nice defense, racist. You racist black liberal Democrat. Everybody knows you're racist. But how many of these people that go along with this are going to get plowed by a drunk driver? You know, I love how people are getting arrested for having 1 glass of wine. They'll pull a housewife over. I don't care what color she is. If she's an American citizen. Walk over, man, been drinking? Well, yeah, I did just go after work and have 2 glasses of wine. Well, I'm going to need you to step out here, little lady. You're going to have to spend about 10 grand paying this off over the next few years. Hope you enjoy it. And then the Awesome American Statesman and others ask, is Travis County immigrant friendly? Like, oh my gosh, is it trendy? And the investigation shows that this article says 19 people. This is a Statesman, right? 19 of the Austin Chronicle. 19 people are deported a week. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And we rank number 3 in deportations because LA stopped. Houston's pretty much stopped. So, you know, for a southern city near the border, we're 3rd. We should be 3rd. After like San Diego and San Antonio. I am so ashamed right now. He deports between 3 and 19, depending on what number you see, a week of rapists and felons. It's so horrible. Can you imagine how racist we are? We're so bad. Meanwhile, I go down to Mexico. If you go down to Mexico and you do anything wrong, in fact, forget doing anything wrong, the police will pull you over. Everybody knows this. It's happened to Nico in the control room. He's been shaken down by the police. And this happened when I was a kid with my parents. And they didn't take us to jail, but they'll just keep getting more and more money from you and then go ahead and just take you to jail and then run a credit check on you, find out how much money you got, and then suck 20, 30 grand out of you, beat you up while they're at it, rape your wife, take your kids away. And it's like, oh, how sweet. Oh, that's just Mexico. That's just what they do to us. We deserve it. We're America. We deserve double prices on Obamacare and death panels because the president's black and it's called Obamacare. And we deserve to turn our guns in, too, because he's black and we're racist if we don't. I mean, it has nothing to do with anything. And we exposed back in June of last year, Don Salazar, Jakari Jackson, and our team on the border, that the illegals are put on buses and bussed in with government vouchers to anywhere they want to go in the U.S., and we got the government head of McCallum to admit it on tape, and the Border Patrol running around covering their faces up while they load the illegals. So if you're going to load the illegals to ship them into the U.S., do you think you're going to let them off for drunk driving or then rape or whatever? You have to. You have to let them off on every level. But it's not discrimination that illegals are a protected superclass. People are mad at the police because there's a feeling that the police get away with stuff and are above the law. And they do. And part of that's because the police would collapse in this lawless country if they didn't get special treatment to a certain extent. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, but that comes out of the corruption. We are not an honorable country. We've killed 55 million of our own children in the last 41 years. We lied to ourselves about that, so of course we're going to go into bondage. But people are rightfully mad that the cops turn off the dash cam and then beat you up and then charge you with assaulting them and don't know somebody's in the bushes videotaping. You know, that kind of stuff's out today. And that bad cops get protected. But forget all that. What about 40, they now admit, 40 million illegal aliens in this country who get everything basically free and are above the law. And folks go, oh, but they're such hard workers. Yes, most of the illegals want to live high on the hog. And so they'll work and they pull welfare. And it's well known. More than half, you can pull the statistics on that. My guys can do it right now. More than half the illegals are estimated to be getting social services. That's the highest rate out there, above even inner city blacks. Half. And you see, once they're subsidized by government money, that'll drive down wages to a point where everybody's got to go on the welfare as a supplement. And now Walmart told their employees starting 2 years ago, we pay you low so that you can qualify for the assistance programs. That's how you enslave a once free country. That's how you domesticate them. That's how you take them down. And man, when I get pulled over by cops and they say, have you been drinking or what's in your car? I go, come on, man. I know you're told to let illegals go all day. And I've had state police 3 times the last 4 or 5 years go, yeah, you're right, Alex. They always know who I am. Suddenly they go, yeah, you're right. I know. I don't like it. I don't care. Get out of the car. And I'm like, no, you're violating my rights right now. I don't care. Because even though they know I'm right, they're like, I'm still going to show you. Yeah, I don't like that either. But you know what? I'm allowed to go after you, so I'm going to go after you. Is basically what they are doing in their actions. I was driving to work one morning, about 9:30, out at the Y at Oak Hill, and I was getting on the ramp, probably going 65, but it's like 50 right there at the start, and he gets me, pulls me over. I was taking my son to work that day, and he's just sitting there, and he pulls me over, and he's like, been drinking? And I went at 9:30 in the morning. And I said, if I was an illegal, you wouldn't even ask me that. And he said, that's true. And I got angry. And I just said, you go ahead and write me your ticket, man. But you're committing a crime every time you selectively gang rape Americans. I told him this. And that guy was so upset. Not even at me. He knew it was true. He was like, it's a joke, people. Our border's wide open. They put us in naked body scanners to... And then I saw this years ago, and it was admitted last year, illegals get to fly with no IDs in and out of the country, but they are completely above the law. The whole government is criminal.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Genesis is defined as an origin, creation, or the beginning. Genesis Communications Network began with the mission of providing you with the kind of compelling content you're listening to now. And at GCNlive.com, you'll find a free archive of our nation's history, narrated by GCN hosts, explored, shared, and passed down to future generations. GCN is the future of talk radio, but we should always strive to learn from our past. Together, we are GCNlive.com. GCN.
It's very easy to be a criminal. All you need to burglarize a home is one simple household tool, a pair of scissors. If your home security system can be compromised by a criminal using scissors, then you're making it easy for them. Almost every home security system, even those sold by big-name companies, has a weakness: the phone line. You shell out $1,500, get locked into a long-term contract, and think you're safe. But a burglar can destroy your alarm in seconds with one snip. And when a burglar cuts your phone line, you're defenseless. Simply Safe Home Security is the smarter choice. Built by Harvard engineers, Simply Safe uses a wireless connection to call the cops. Scissors can't cut it. And that means your home stays safe. 24/7 professional monitoring is under $15 a month with no contract. Simply Safe Home Security keeps you safer than the other guys for half the cost. Protect your home with the alarm you can trust. Simply Safe. Go to simplysafedefense.com now for an exclusive 10% offer. That's simplysafedefense.com.
It's happening again. The feds are trying to ban your freedom to own body armor. In January, a newly introduced bill, H.R. 378, will take away your right to buy Level 3 and higher body armor. Katie Armor offers the most affordable Level 3 body armor packages on the market today. Protect yourself. Buy your body armor now before it's too late. Go to katiearmor.com. That's CATIarmor.com. Come and take it.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Joe Biggs here with Infowars.com. Now, a local Fox affiliate out of San Diego, Fox 5, accidentally depicts President Obama as a rape suspect in last night's 10 o'clock news.
The only suspect in a sex assault at SDSU will not be charged.
Maybe Fox actually got something right for once. Let's talk about all the different ways that President Obama has raped America. Is this news editing mistake a Freudian slip? Or are we being gaslighted to subconsciously capitulate our awareness to the rapist in chief? Since taking office as the 44th President of the United States, President Barack Hussein Obama has forcibly violated what was left of our constitutional rights. The National Defense Authorization Act grants his office the power to deploy the U.S. military to apprehend and indefinitely detain any person, including American citizens, who he believes represent an enduring security threat to the United States.
All right.
Section 1071 of the version of the 2014...
That's part of a report. You can see the full report. It's excellent that Joe Biggs filed at his desk. I love Joe because he does a lot of reporting for us, a lot of research, but he also comes up here sometimes at like midnight and shoots reports at his desk. So let's give that guy a nice microphone in there. Let's give him a nice setup. I mean, let's give him an iPhone or something too, or he's got his own phone so he can start uploading stuff. When he's out on the road. I mean, he's taking action. That's what I like to see. All the reporters are doing a great job. They do a great job in different ways, though. David Knight, Jakari Jackson, everybody. John Bound, Leanne McAdoo, and I can't mention everybody. It really is amazing, the job they're doing covering all this. And the reason I wanted to play a little bit of that clip was this point. We are being raped, and they are trying to train us like a pimp breaks his street hoe, that we're lucky if we're even allowed to live, basically. And we're being beaten like a dog by this system. But there's going to be another reaction where more and more people who are American citizens are going to stop paying income tax to the private Federal Reserve through the IRS. People are going to stop paying for their tickets. They're going to stop paying for all the bureaucracy. And it's becoming a defense more and more in court with the judges that, hey, you let illegals go. So what we need to do is document the illegals being let go. Citizen journalists need to do this. Do it as like a month-long project. We ought to have a contest where people legally and lawfully go, get transcripts, sit in on the trials, watch the illegals released on $10 fines, what they're giving in Travis County, $10 fine for drunk driving, being released for hit and runs, being just cut loose for rape charges. We need to document that and then codify those as defense then when citizens have the book thrown against them. Because if a law is not justly appropriated and justly dealt out to the public, then it's null and void. Again, people are mad at cops because there's a sense that they're above the law. Well, if anybody's above the law, it's the illegal aliens. And I am incensed with the police for following orders and carrying out selective enforcement. I'm very mad at them as well and disgusted. But I'm really disgusted with us for putting up with it. I'm disgusted with myself. I mean, I haven't talked about this in a while, and it just makes me so angry. It's like, why aren't we doing more to fight this? And I'm really disgusted with the criminals that are running our government that are doing this in our face. I mean, that's who we blame, is the globalist running it, the robber barons, the corrupt New World Order. InfoWarsLife.com has some great specials on nascent iodine, colloidal silver, and other products, and your purchase makes it all possible. So try the products out today and buy war bonds in the InfoWar. InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
What disaster is so powerful, it unleashes a chain of mass pandemics, economic meltdowns, and violent food riots, all at the same time? NASA has already set the countdown timer, and right now the 21st century apocalypse is less than 13 months away. Former CIA Director James Woolsey says 2/3 of U.S. population could perish. In a matter of seconds, the world as we know it will cease to exist. The world's economy will be wiped out. Mass riots will follow. Ancient diseases will reemerge. How will you shield yourself and your loved ones from this upcoming apocalypse? Go to darkestdays.info to find out proven methods of protecting yourself, your loved ones, and even your entire community when this worst-case scenario unravels. That's darkestdays.info. darkestdays.info. Go there before this life-saving information becomes unavailable to the large public. Go to darkestdays.info now.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Big Brother. Mainstream media.
Government cover-ups.
Government cover-ups.
You want answers?
You want answers? Well,
so does he. He's Jakari Jackson.
Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
All right, we're going to go to Jakari Jackson right now.
From Austin, Texas.
Then we've got
Alex Jones.
Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, joining us to get his view on the world economy. He was on about 4 years ago, made a lot of predictions. They did come true. And then we've got Dr. Edward Grip with some huge breaking news on vaccines, you name it. And how to detox and more coming up in the third hour today. But I want to go to Jakari Jackson first, there in the control room. Jakari is in there helping run the show today, not just doing a great job as a reporter and researcher. I want to get his take on the Judicial Watch documents that we already knew, because he was down there on the border and documented earlier last year, and the New York Times then picked it up later, that the illegals were being loaded on buses by the feds and given vouchers and were ordered to cover it up. And again, the Border Patrol is the ones that leaked this to Jakari and to Kit Daniels so they could go down there with the Don Salazar and cover it. But it is pure discrimination. You talk about discrimination. I mean, that citizens get the book thrown at them for arson or rape, and should, but DWI, but the illegals, they're telling them, just, quote, let them go on their way. Jakari Jackson,
That's
your
exactly
take on
right,
that.
Alex, because we have the article pulled up here on 9. Maybe the guys can pull it up. And it's talking about Border Patrol agents advised to release drunk drivers. And as you and I know, if we get caught drunk driving, you know, they're going to throw the book at us.
And by the way, that's CBS News. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, CBS out of Arizona. And they want to throw the book at you and I, but if somebody else comes in from a foreign country, it's like Paul Joseph Watson. He always reports on things talking about the political correctness of it. You know, if it's a Muslim or somebody else, you know, they don't want to report on it or, you know, take any action.
Oh, that's right. Thousands of girls raped, and they wouldn't arrest any of them because they were Muslims.
The guy because they want to be culturally insensitive. And that's not saying all Muslims are rapists, but it's just that one particular instance.
What it's saying is Muslims are not above the law, though.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's above the law. You know, like I said, it's not a racial issue. It's not a religious issue.
But you shouldn't even have to qualify or apologize. I mean, yeah. And I do it, too. It's just we're so under control of this.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And when we went out to South Texas last year, and we had a chance to speak with, what was his name? Pagan, I believe was his name.
He was the head emergency manager.
Yeah, and he said that they're bringing them in, they're busting them in, and they're giving them the vouchers. And I said, who is this that you're talking about, sir? And he says, yeah, the Border Patrol. They bring these guys in, and then they give them the vouchers to go someplace else. And then when you go back to everybody who hasn't been to South Texas, when you come back, there's a permanent Border Patrol checkpoint, and they want to pull you over and ask, are you an American citizen? And, we got to the point where we said, sir, if you want to find out where the illegals are going, we can tell you exactly where they are. We have photos, we have videos, we have articles. He says, yeah, we know about all those guys. We're just pretty much doing our jobs. Kind of the...
Well, don't you have a clip of Biggs is down there, and he says, hey, you're 75 miles into the border. There is no border now. We just showed the border wide open. Let us go through. And the guy goes, actually, you're right. Go through. And he gets it. I mean, it's a total joke.
Alex, they know it. They know it's just a big joke. It's smoke and mirrors. That's all it is. It's a magic trick to make people feel better.
The border is down. We are wide open.
Yeah. And pretty much, even if we had said, we're illegals from wherever, they would have said, okay, they would just send us to the Border Patrol checkpoint, to the ICE Patrol, to the ICE facility.
To be given a voucher to go wherever you wanted.
And pretty much all it was, we would have stopped driving and got on a bus to go someplace else. That's what been all it would have happened.
You'd have been delivered to a Democratic Party headquarters to then be indoctrinated, given the funding, you name it. I want you to do a man on the street, and I'm sure if you go to the liberal area, they'll agree that illegals shouldn't be given DWIs. Then go, should, if Obama says so, the illegals not be given DWIs because Obama says? And they'll go, yes, but everyone else should. They'll go, yes. Show the mental illness. Jennings, you were saying that your concrete business got run out by illegals.
Yeah, Alex, every time I go on a job and I'd bid for a job, that we'd have illegals that would come in right behind us and underbid us by $2 and $3, which is a huge amount of money in per square foot. And they come in and they do these jobs and ruin these people's floors. And then they go, well, I don't know what happened.
Well, the issue is they're getting welfare, most of them, so they can underbid everybody, and it's driving down wages, and then the left's like, raise our wages. The country is collapsing. The country is collapsing. Stay with us. When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with super male or super female vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operation.
We let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime Directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
It's a popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun. You can feel it.
For all of recorded history, civilizations around the world praised the health benefits of silver. At InfoWars Life, our mission is to bring you the highest quality, purest, cleanest, effective colloidal silver on the market today for the lowest price available. You don't have to be a doctor to know. The fall and winter months are the most dangerous time of year in North America when it comes to you and your family's health. InfoWarsLife.com is very excited to announce our biggest run yet of silver Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Now, InfoWarsLife.com has taken colloidal silver to the next level using a cutting-edge technique that is free of toxic artificial additives. Now more than ever, it's important to stock up on high-quality Silver Bullet from InfoWarsLife.com. No survival chest is complete without Silver Bullet. Secure your Silver Bullet today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Silver Bullet.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Political correctness is a weapon to silence debate and make people submit to the agenda of the establishment. Don't like Obamacare, you're a racist. Don't want to turn your guns in, you're a racist. Now, we've known this has been going on for at least 6-7 years, but now it's in CBS News. Border Patrol agents advised to release drunk drivers. Well, we read earlier from the actual Judicial Watch document that's up on Infowars.com, and it says, quote, allow them to go on their way, and if they kill somebody, it is not your fault. It actually says that you have no responsibility. That's not true under the Constitution, Bill of Rights, under federal and state law. If you knowingly know someone's going to commit a crime, not even as a sworn officer, and you let them do it, you are liable. You're now aiding and abetting. Now, I spent most of the last hour getting into this. I just wanted to dovetail it with this report because citizens get the book thrown at them. It's not just drunk driving. It's aggravated felonies, rape, robbery, armed robbery. Elderly man facing 10 years over unloaded flintlock made in 1762. So you're trying to go to a gun show or a swap meet to sell your, it's not even a firearm, really. It's not classified as that by the BATF. They don't care. They're going to classify it and try to put you under the jail. Elderly man facing 10 years over unloaded flintlock. Prosecutors want retired teacher to serve 3.5 years at least because they love someone with no criminal record who had no intent for possessing 250-year-old pistol. Gordon Van Gilder, 72, is charged with a felony in New Jersey after he told a Cumberland County Sheriff's deputy he had a flintlock pistol in his car during a traffic stop. See, being honest also puts you under the jail because this system is so evil that it wants to target good people because it's a criminal system now, just like the illegals are above the law, just like the private Federal Reserve gets trillions in bailout money, but if an old lady doesn't pay her income tax, they take her house without due process. That article's up on Infowars.com right now. Kit Daniels and links through to the local newspaper, the source of the original report. And they are proudly trying to put him in jail and ruin his life with pleasure. Because, see, producers and non-criminals are the milk cows, and we need to be enslaved. And so that means create all these laws, throw the book at us, and then exempt the government, the police, and the illegal aliens from it. That's what you call 21st century tyranny. Talk about discrimination constantly and say brown bags in Seattle, Associated Press are racist. You will be fired if you're seen with a brown bag. It's hurtful. No one ever said a brown bag was a racist symbol. No one ever said watermelon and fried chicken was a racist symbol. They just put it out there so there's more and more stuff that then the racists will actually pick up on all sides to where we're all obsessed with race and know nothing about anything else. While we're being discriminated against by mega corporations that are tax exempt while lobbying for higher taxes on us to shut down their competition. While big banks launder drug money while lobbying for more drug laws to keep the price up. Now, I went there because his new book's out. We're going to get into that, get into the economy. He was on like 4 years ago with us. Everybody knows who Robert Kiyosaki is, the mega million best time seller, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, successful entrepreneur, owns mines all over the world and factories. I mean, he's a true entrepreneur. Anyone who's been an entrepreneur knows that's the heart of everything. So they demonize entrepreneurship. Like Obama said, if you have a business, you didn't build that. Somebody else built that. So when Kiyosaki speaks with us the next 50 minutes, this is not Kiyosaki. This is the state speaking. And Cuomo has come out and said, I have the quote here, we played the clip earlier, that our rights do not come from God, they come from the state. Well, we say God even if you're an atheist so that the state doesn't become God. Duh, put something above the state. The individual's above the state here. So when we get down to it, we're saying we are God. That ought to make you Satanists happy. But you can't even get that, can you? You do not. The state must be God. So I wanted to bring up real discrimination with Robert Kiyosaki. Throw him a curveball first. Best known for Rich Dad, Poor Dad, #1 personal finance book of all time. Kiyosaki has challenged and changed the way tens of millions of people around the world think about money. He's an entrepreneur, educator, investor who believes in the world needs more entrepreneurs. And he's got a new book out, The Second Chance for Your Money, Your Life, and Your World. Just came out this month. It's already a bestseller at richdad.com, richdad.com. I'm Alex Jones with Infowars.com. What do you think about them trying to label things that obviously aren't racist as racist to divert, or do you disagree with me, from all the real discrimination that's going on inside government and by the governing class and those that are allied with them? I see this as causing a major trend of lawlessness as people realize if we have a rogue government, we cannot follow their laws because they're illegitimate. I see this as what brings in anarchy. And, you know, anarchy is not the road I'm on. But, you know, if you'd like, you can come along. Well, if I don't want a road warrior society, but they claim they're here to bring order, it seems they're bringing disorder. Where do you see the world going, and how do you tie this into your larger worldview, Robert?
Well, first of all, I really do enjoy fried chicken and watermelon.
Exactly, I do too.
Doesn't make me a racist. But I think really what you're saying, I agree with, is that, you know, too many people keep the water stirred up. And when the water is stirred up and muddy and confusing, the people listening to the media or watching the reading the things in the paper, is they cannot make logical decisions. And so people, like you say, they don't know what's going on because they're all stirred up all the time, making these really stupid remarks about, you know, this and that and racism and guns, and it's just goofy. And we're in a bad situation right now.
Well, the political elite have obviously fostered this because, as you said, the fog of war, it confuses us, it confounds us. But won't it end up making the country really have problems if they've got school kids obsessing and crying over brown paper bags, while meanwhile Obama is butchering the Bill of Rights and Constitution, along with the Republicans?
That's what I think. You know, my rant, for those of you who read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, my whole rant for the last 20 years has been, why don't we have financial education in our schools? You know, why are they talking about brown bags and fried chicken and watermelon? And when you look at, and I'm not Republican or Democrat, so I don't have a dog in that fight.
Same here.
But when you have a president who comes from Hawaii like I do, and he went to one of the richest schools in Hawaii, but the guy knows nothing about money. And when you have a guy who knows nothing about money, but actually comes from a poor background, that poor background is going to affect their view on people who make money, people who are rich. And I think really that's the biggest problem, because from President of the United States down, senators and congressmen, military officers and all that, millions of people today who work for the government now expect the government to take care of them. You know, like Detroit went bankrupt because they couldn't pay for pensions. And why is that? Why is Obama going to make more money after he's president than when he did when he was working? Why are senators and congressmen paid exorbitant pensions when they only work for one term? At the same time, you have millions of poor people or people who are struggling, people who own businesses who may never be able to retire. And that's a crime. And that's why I say, why isn't there financial education in our schools?
That's right. They have demonized making money, saving money, how to build a business. They've just taught us, you know, go work for the big corporation in a drone facility, and they've created all this class warfare. Obama lands in a giant jet with 14 other support aircraft and over 200 Secret Service, and then tells Nigerians you shouldn't have air conditioning or a car. He doesn't say we should have cleaner cars or cleaner air conditioning and innovate new sciences, and that Africa, you know, could innovate and lead the world if they had that idea. No, he just says you're going to stay in mud huts. How's that sound? When he is there basically delivered by a high-tech flying carpet.
I agree wholeheartedly. I don't remember, but I was a pilot. I flew for the Marine Corps in Vietnam. And I know how much it costs to run a plane. I remember when Clinton was running for office, he actually parked a 747 and left it running so somebody could give him a $200 haircut.
No, I remember that. And people were outraged back then.
Yeah.
Is there outrage fatigue now? Because stuff is getting more and more over the top. Or where do you, and I'm going to skip this network break because I want to give our guest more time. Robert Kiyosaki, best-selling author of all time for self-help finance book, is our guest. Got a new book out. We're going to talk about that book. But, I mean, the world is just crazy at this point. Give us your prognosis for the planet. There's obviously opportunities for those of us that are studying it. I mean, I'm going to do better probably than ever as things get worse, but I'm not happy about that because I know it's hurting the average person.
Amen. Alex, I would say exactly the same thing. It doesn't make me happy that I'm getting richer and richer, and I see my friends getting poorer and poorer. I'm very concerned right now about, my generation, the baby boom generation, the biggest generation in history. And they bought that program of put all your money in a 401k and invest for the long term. Now, I wrote a book called Rich Dad's Prophecy back in 2002. That was 14 years ago, or 13 years ago. And I said the biggest stock market crash in the history of the world was coming in 2016. Now, I was kind of guessing. But unfortunately, I didn't write it to be right. I wrote it out of concern. If I'm correct that in 2002, when I said the biggest market crash was coming in 2016, that means millions and millions of baby boomers, their kids, their grandkids, will feel the effect of that when their retirement savings are wiped out. I hope I'm wrong, but so far, my numbers look accurate and it's holding course right now. So I don't write because I want to be rich or poke fun or be righteous. I am really concerned about my fellow citizens.
It's frustrating because when you know how this stuff really works, you can position yourself and do well. And then just the average person, even if they seem smart or a friend, they just keep doing what CNBC and CNN say. Not even that those places have big audiences anymore, but still it's the authority. But with Brian Williams' fall, I think that's one of the big dominoes to go down with a loss of confidence in the system. What's your take on the future of the media?
Well, I think it's manipulated. You and I are in the same boat again. It's not free media, it's controlled media. If you have money, you control the media. If you don't have media, you don't have that money, you don't control it. When Rich Dad Poor Dad came out in 1997, and I started saying your house is not an asset, I was foretelling the crash coming in 2007.
Yeah, we should talk about your predictions. Rattle off some of those. They're amazing, and they're on record.
Well, there was three. One was that savers would be losers, and that was in 1997. And in 2007, when the markets crashed and the Fed began printing money, as you know, savers are losers. I also said your house is not an asset, and your house is the biggest asset for many of the middle class. And as you know, the real estate market has not yet recovered. Excuse me. And then I predicted in 2002 a massive crash would come prior to 2016.
You did.
And it came in 2007. And now this is the other side of the coin. I always talk about all coins have three sides: heads, tails, and the edge. You have Republicans on one side, Democrats on the other side, capitalists on one side, social on the other side. But our job as private citizens is to be on the edge, looking at both sides.
That's right.
Fortunately, when the market crashed in 2007, the poor and middle class got wiped out, but the rich got richer. And one of the ways the rich got richer is the very banks that put out all this quantitative easing were offering guys like me literally hundreds of millions of dollars to buy the very real estate that was wiped out. And so what I write about and I talk about is that the rich are richer because they're on the other side of the coin. They don't go to school to get a job. They go to school to learn to be rich, how to start corporations.
And let's go above you at the level of actually building things in a good, corporate businessman, true capitalist. And above that is the real enemy, the crony capitalist. You're just piggybacking on them looking at both sides of the coin. Good businessmen, bad businessmen, you can do it. I can do it. We've got to get the public to start actually getting outside the box, looking at the edge of the coin. The problem is they'll go above this. They'll finance Al-Qaeda. Doesn't mean they run them. They'll finance ISIS and then make hundreds of billions off fighting them. And the public goes, what, you say we command them? No, but we helped get them going. And then they'll use them by, again, gaming the dialectic to get more power. How do you get the public to think like an executive? I just, some people tell me either someone's got it or they don't, Robert.
Well, let me give you, like, I always write about three sides of a coin, heads, tails, and the edge. I was a Marine in Vietnam, and in 1972, I was standing out there. And you may recall in 71, Nixon took us off the gold standard.
Yes.
And I was standing out there going, what the heck does this mean? So I wrote about that event in a book called Conspiracy of the Rich. Is when I was like 25 years old, you know, I'm talking to this Vietnamese fruit seller, and she wouldn't take a $50 bill. And so here I'm 25, 26 years old going, what's going on? And she didn't want the dollar, she wanted gold. And so that's when I went, oh my God, plus Vietnam was kind of a wake-up call for me because I realized we, the public, are lied to by those who control the military-industrial complex. Now, I'm not against war or pro-war. I don't like being lied to.
You're against the special interest being above the law.
Yeah, and so when the market started coming down, again, I say that the other side of the coin. I didn't want to be on the side that was losing. I want to be on the side that's winning. But as you know, the media controls the message. And so it keeps the poor and middle class interpolated, always upset, discussing things that really don't matter, like brown bag lunches with chicken in it.
Exactly, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Don't have a brown bag and don't bring chicken to fry it. It's racist. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. And that's what we are. Or, you know, when I talked to, I had this person apply for the job the other day, and she was like really stopped from school. She did nothing. I was going, she had no idea. She was applying for a job, but she had no idea what my company did. She just wanted a job and wanted to know how much was going to pay her.
Yeah, if I wanted a job, I'd research everything about you. I'd come in saying, I want to help you. This is what I can offer. I'd like to advance in your company. I'd like to prove myself. I really like your philosophy, Mr. Kiyosaki. No, they just show up and go, yeah, you're lucky if you get me. You know, it's just amazing.
Worse than that, Alex, I was afraid when the interview was over, I was going to get sued.
Wow.
That's how, you know what I mean? Because it'd be either sexual harassment or discrimination. You know, as an employer, I'm terrified of what I even say to potential employees. That's how politically correct we are.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to tell a woman, oh, I think your blouse is nice. Oh, that's evil. That's horrible. Of course, that's a totally normal human activity, but it's evil.
And it wasn't nice, but I didn't say that.
But I mean, I don't want to say to even like an old lady, oh, I like your coat. You know, I'll say, oh, I like your dog on the hike and bike trail because everything's politically incorrect now.
That's correct. And I think, you know, what we're talking about without describing it is probably the problem. We're so stirred up all over the place, nobody's listening anymore. You know, everybody's talking, but nobody's listening. So I'm going, holy mackerel. You know, this is not a good time to be.
Well, Robert, I want to give you the floor. We got 5 minutes till break. I've been asking some of the questions up front, but front and center, what is most important to you, good, bad, and ugly right now? And we're going to come back from break in about 5 minutes and get into your new book.
I'm just concerned about this possible. I hope it doesn't happen, but if my Rich Dad was correct, again, published in 2002, Rich Dad's Prophecy predicted the biggest crash in the history of the world was coming in 2016. And that's why I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's why I speak. That's why I write. That's why I take on the media. But I'm very concerned for my citizens. Look, Alex, what happens if this? Let's say I'm right. Hopefully I'm not. And millions of baby boomers lose their pension, their homes, their jobs. They lose everything. What is a ripple effect throughout the world going to mean to that? What is it? We've never been here before. Never before has the U.S. dollar, one currency, been the reserve currency of the world, and we're printing it.
Wow.
The Europeans are printing, Japanese are printing, and you got to look at this and go, this is not good. So that's my concern right now.
Well, look, your prediction will come true, whether it's this year, next year, or 2 years down the road, or 3 years. Was Zimbabwe, Weimar? I mean, let's talk about that history. I mean, doesn't this always end in a serious collapse? I mean, it doesn't go anywhere else. I don't. My only concern is how big will it get before it implodes? I want to have a controlled crash landing.
Yes. The point here is the last 100 years has been 52 so-called currencies that collapse. 52 in the last 100 years. But never. The reason 1972, me standing on the fields of Vietnam, was so important was that for the very first time in history, the U.S. dollar is the currency of the world. And if the dollar goes bad or something skews up, the whole world goes down. It's not like just Zimbabwe or the Weimar Republic. It's the whole world. It is the biggest collapse possible. And we have no financial education. We don't tell people this.
The biggest collapse possible, a global Weimar, what will that look like?
Alex, you know Harry Dent?
Yeah.
Yeah. After I talking to him yesterday, I was put on suicide watch. You know, I can't even fathom what it might be. I can't imagine it. Because I was in Zimbabwe in 2004 just to go see what a currency collapse looks like.
I knew that. I read an article that quoted you. Tell us about that.
Well, it was just extremely frightening. You know, what happens when your money is no good is the question. What happens when you can't trade? What happens if you can't buy food? You know, and people do goofy things. And in fact, you know, I was accosted by what they call the war vets, you know, these guys with AK-47s. And I was out there going, you know, I'm not here to change your political views. I just want to find out what's going on. But they didn't care. They were afraid I was part of the CIA or something, which I'm not. But I'm going, hey, I'm just here to find out. But it was so tense. You know, there was a little woman, she was about probably 80 years old. The war vets went to her farm in Zimbabwe and kicked her off. And I saw this little lady, she comes up to me and she says, you know, they're just screaming at me in Afrikaans, which I don't speak. But it was just a futility. After 400 years, she and her husband lose the farm their parents gave to them. And I don't know if that's going to happen here, but it's frightening. The thing I did find out in Zimbabwe was what kind of triggered the collapse of the Zimbabwe dollar was a thing called retirement pensions.
That's right.
And the U.S. is sitting in the same precarious position right now.
Wasn't it government pensions?
Any kind of pension.
Yeah.
With millions of people counting on the government pension to keep them alive when they retire. That's what I'm afraid of. That's why after talking to Harry Dent, I was depressed. And I'm upset.
When we come back, we're going to get into your new book and other world events taking place. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, is our guest. You go to his website. Ladies and gentlemen, it's got a lot of powerful information, richdad.com. And we got to get this guy back more often than every 4 years. I only get him on every few months. And we'll also open the phones up. So stay with us. We'll be right back on the other side. 800-259-9231.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
The month of February is all about Valentine's Day. Big heart-shaped boxes filled with delicious candy. What if we, the Patriots, hijacked Valentine's Day and instead made it about human liberty and individual empowerment? I'm all about human potential. I'm all about the individual being empowered. The establishment is the opposite. That's why they spike our water with fluoride and GMO, estrogen mimickers, and the rest of the garbage. InfoWars is striking back in the month of February with Human Empowerment Month. How we can come together and win the human race. And to celebrate the kickoff of Human Empowerment Month, we're slashing prices on InfoWarsLife.com products like Super Male and Super Female Vitality. The sale is only running for the month, 20% off, and there's a lot of other powerful specials at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsLife.com, celebrating human potential in the month of February. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to find this special and many others in the month of February. Again, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems and enhance overall health. Introducing the new InfoWarsLife.com oil of oregano formulation, a highly advanced nutraceutical form of this key herb that has been traditionally used by civilizations for thousands of years to promote health. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market, sourced from top leading manufacturers to ensure a concentrated level of bioactive ingredients, extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules. You will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Wild crafted from the Mediterranean oregano species that experts agree is one of the most powerful and most challenging to acquire. This winter season, it's more important than ever to secure this true form of oil of oregano. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Teleprompter-free radio, TV. Robert Kiyosaki is our guest. RichDad.com, his new book, Second Chance for Your Money, Your Life, and Your World, and Our World. I am going to be listening very carefully to what he has to say. I remember back when his first big book, he'd had other books came out in the late 90s, my dad was like, you got to read this, you got to read this, you got to read this. My dad's been pretty successful at business, smart guy, and so I read it. And it just like, yeah, that makes sense, that makes sense. I had kind of instinctively already agreed with so much of it, but I did learn a lot. But I tell you, I can't wait to read his new book. I've read 5 or 6 of his books, and they're excellent. I've tuned in when I get a chance online to his radio show. So you can find that on his website as well, RichDad.com. And the reason I have other talk show hosts on my show is I don't care. I hope Robert has 1 billion listeners. I'm not some egomaniac. I know he's not as well. George Norrie has me on. You know, he's got 16 million terrestrial listeners. I only have about 5-6 million terrestrial listeners. Altogether, about 20 million online and YouTube and the rest of it. But he has me on because he wants to try to save the country and have a free system. I mean, we're all kind of in the same mindset here. We're fellow travelers, not in the socialist way, but in the opposite way, a true capitalist way. So we got to stick together. So if you want to defeat the globalists, get his book, read it, give it to others. If you want to defeat the crony monopoly capitalists that are discrediting capitalism, get his book. Listen, socialism, once it comes in, is so horrible, it always ends up getting reversed. So we've got a very good shot at beating this. The question is, can we beat it before we get really deep into it? And we're starting to get deep into it. So I hope you get his book. I hope you go to InfoWarsLife.com to get our great nutraceuticals, Survival Shield, Nascent Iodine X2. It's not like any other iodine out there. Consult your physician. It's true iodine. I don't call it nascent so much because the other nascent brands out there, we've had them looked at. They're not really nascent. This is pure iodine, 99999, you know, just boom. I mean, it's not bound. It's not an alcohol. It's an organic palm oil. It's injected as a gas in a patented secret process that the Russians invented. It's life-changing. It's the good halogen. Goes in, just pulls the garbage out, supercharges the energy. You use super male or super female vitality that we have discounted the month of February with it, 20% off. It's just, I don't know, what is it, like 18, 19 different concentrated herbs. The women's has a couple extra. That's why I get confused on the numbers. That are just known to give you more vitality, energy in the gym, your libido. I mean, believe me. Just try it. You'll be a repeat customer. And regardless, you're supporting the First Amendment and freedom and liberty and folks that promote the Second Amendment and sovereignty and family rights and property rights. So if the political class ever can be defeated, the insider political class, the crony class, it's when we the people start voting with our dollars consciously. And it's starting to happen with organic food, you name it. And that's why it is an absolute essential that you buy the T-shirts, you buy the books, you buy the films, and pass them on to others to wake them up, but also fund our operation. InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. At the end of the day, money for me is about putting fuel in my truck so I can drive to the Grand Canyon and show my kids. It's not about I got money, look, I'm waving around some $100 bills. It's about I have freedom. And I try to use the money we've made to build a platform to promote your freedom. because we're in this together. We all hang together or hang separate, as Benjamin Franklin said. This is a critical time of change, and the enemy's trying to take over in this point. We can seize this opportunity and really change things for the better. There are times in history when more happens in a decade than happened in the previous 100 years. We're setting our future destinies right now. Every major economist, philosopher, historian agrees. We're in a critical point right now, the beginning of it. The next 5 to 10 years. I want to see if Robert agrees with me, and then we're going to go to some phone calls, 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231. But it's so important now to tell friends and family about radio shows you like and pass it on. It's so important to promote other podcasts. It's so important to support our local affiliates and their sponsors. It's so important to buy the products, because if we build it and you come, this will become the new pastime. If you want to expose an evil culture, become the new culture. Make art. Compete. Our ideas are like snow cones in hell, and they're selling flamethrowers in hell. People want to buy what we got, and we're selling freedom for free, but we need the platform to put it out. So go to InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com. Check out the over 800 products on the site now. Most of it we can get shortwave radios, T-shirts, you name it, made in America. Some of it's not at a lower price. We let you make the decision. InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com, or 888-253-3139. Again, second chance for your money, for your life, and for our world is the new book, and he is joining us right now. It's 8 lessons in military leadership for entrepreneurs. I want you to talk about your book and any other issues you want to get to, and then I want to take a few phone calls, Robert.
Yeah, first of all, 8 Lessons of Military Leadership is a book coming out in a couple of months.
Well, I can't wait to read that one, too.
Yeah, and Second Chance is about where we are today, and people may need to change some of the things they're doing. If I could mention Second Chance, if I show it up to you, I love what you do because you give people like me, people with a different point of view, a chance to speak, versus what happens on television a lot of times. They'll put one person with one point of view and a person with another point of view, and they yell at each other. And we learn nothing.
The plan is to teach us how to fight with each other and never actually come together.
Yeah. So I appreciate what you do, and I agree with you. You know, cash is only one thing. It's put fuel in your tank. And to keep your business going, keep your programs going, and support, you know, people and messages you like. So I agree wholeheartedly with you. The reason I wrote Second Chance is because of all the confusion. So if I could be bold and show you a picture from the book here, what you'll see here are pictures. And although it's a very big book, the reason I made it in pictures is so that you didn't have to listen to the people yelling back and forth. Also, what happens for many people is when they read economic terms, they get confused. So Second Chance, part 1 especially, is everything's in pictures. So a 10-year-old kid could read it, an adult could read it, and the best thing about it is parent and adult, or old guys and young guys, could discuss the pictures rather than get confused about all the economic jargon that's thrown out there, like what is the GDP versus NDA and all this stuff. It's just pictures. So when you have a Second Chance about pictures, you can explain to your family, your kids, by pointing, because you know, your kids will probably not read it, but they can see the pictures. And I think that's what makes the book differently. I'm not pushing an agenda. When you see, like I said, in 1971, 72, when I was in Vietnam, you know, I went, oh my God, I better wake up. You know, something's happening here. That's when Nixon took us off the gold standard. And if you know what happened, we started printing, and the biggest boom in history ever took off. We have never been this high. 17,000 Dow. Then in 1978, this is all in pictures in Second Chance. In 1978, the 401k came out. And basically what that was, the 401k was, the big corporations were saying to the little employees, hey, you're on your own, dude. You know, if you run out of money when you retire, it's no longer our problem. So when you see the 401k from that perspective, like it's the other side of the coin, and you look at the pictures, then you can start making different decisions for you, your family, and your life.
What do you make by the big banking cartels worldwide, and now they're floating it here at the State of the Union, the government, quote, taking over private 401ks and education 401ks to, quote, protect them, but throwing in class envy that these are, lazy trust fund kids when they average things like $25,000. I mean, that's really scary when they start sniffing around the pension funds, the private pension funds. I mean, that's what we're talking about here.
And healthcare.
Yeah.
The whole thing. You talked about socialism versus capitalism. I was a Marine. I fought for capitalism. I didn't fight for socialism. When people say, what happened to the American dream? The American dream has gone to the entitlement mentality. And I look at all our senators and congressmen and presidents. They all expect the government to take care of them. And what's going to happen, if I'm correct, in 2016, and the whole stock market house of cards comes down, that means everybody who's counting on the government or the IRA or their 401k, they may be up the creek without a paddle. So that's why I started the Rich Dad Company back in 1997.
What do you recommend? I can't wait because I haven't bought your book yet. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to read it because I need to get my act together. I mean, I'm always learning more. I can't wait, though, till the other book comes out, 8 Lessons in Military Leadership for Entrepreneurs. Give us a sneak peek on that.
Well, it's about, we have a high number of veterans who are unemployed. I mean, they're homeless, a lot of them. What I'm saying is that the military gave them some of the best training to become entrepreneurs, not employees. And they gave them such things as, unity, courage,
initiative,
skills. And so most of our veterans are actually natural entrepreneurs, except when they come back from the war, they're trying to fit into the corporate world, and a lot of them just don't fit. So 8 Lessons for military leadership is about how every military person, from the lowest private to the general, are already good entrepreneurs because they have great training.
Flesh that out a bit, then I want to take some calls because it is fascinating. I found vets do real good in my operation because I just say, here's the mission, have integrity, report news, have an open bias of telling the truth, and from a perspective of freedom, get out there. We want people to really dominate and break big stories. And I found people like Joe Biggs, they just get out there. They get it. They have a mission. I turn them loose.
Yeah. Like when I was, I was a Marine pilot, I flew the helicopter gunship. And if my major came down to me and says, hey, Lieutenant, take out that machine gun nest, he didn't say, well, I don't feel like it. I mean, he just, you did it or died. I mean, that is how Marines and most military people are trained.
What type of gunship? Was it a Cobra or what was it?
Both. I flew the Huey gunship and the Cobra gunship.
Wow, I'd like to have you on about that. That's interesting.
I really loved it. But anyway, that's why military personnel are trained to be entrepreneurs. They're going to get the job done. And that's why the Marines had so many problems in Fallujah. Not to berate my brother in the Army, but the Marines took Fallujah, and then the Army went back in. They lost it, and Marines went back in. But a lot of my friends were brought up on court-martialed because they did the job. They killed people. And I hate to say that, but that's what Marines are trained to do.
Yeah, what about political correctness in the military? I mean, I'm against those wars, but once they're there, they're going to court-martial people because you're getting shot at from a house, they shoot the house up, and then they shoot a civilian. I mean, you can't blame the individual, in my view. I'm sorry.
It's disgusting. My friend is a 3-star general, and he has to be politically correct. He was my roommate in Vietnam, and he says, I cannot say what I want to say because it looks bad upon the Marine Corps. And when your generals are not allowed to speak, we have a serious political correctness problem, and it's sad. Look, ISIS is actually doing us a big favor right now. They're really upsetting the whole world. If they actually put on video of them beheading a little kid, the world would come and blow them out of the water. But right now, they're only beheading men. But when they start beheading women and kids, I think then the Marine Corps will step up.
Well, they're doing it. They're just smart enough not to put it on video. And I tell you, what a despicable group of dirtbags. I mean, those people are just unbelievable. You look at the eyes of those people. They just look like a bunch of Charles Mansons. I don't know how you can find such large groups of people that have a Charlie Manson look in their eye all the time. I mean, all the people I know that look like that are on PCP. Robert, what do you think's going on with these people?
Alex, I have no idea. Look, I had a good friend who is Muslim. And I never met a man who hated so much. He's a good friend, but he hated Jews. And I kept asking him, I said, Saleh, how in the world can you hate somebody that much? Because I hate, I don't hate that much. And that's the question, is how could you go and do basically atrocities to your fellow human being and think you're doing it in the name of God? It is beyond my comprehension. So that's why I think we need to be stronger, but we also take different approaches that neutralize this ISIS threat.
Well, of course, and you know, the West helped set up ISIS to take out Syria. Now it's come back. It is a mess. You ready to take some phone calls, Robert?
Sure.
Let's do it. Mike in Virginia, you're on the air with our guest, the author of the new book, Second Chance. Go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, I can't believe I got on. But anyway, yeah, I have a question. I have some silver. I have some gold. I got a lot of silver, let's put it that way, and some gold. My house has been paid for years ago, 20 years ago. What else can I do to help protect? You know what I mean?
That's a great question. You know, congratulations for having silver. I like silver personally. I love gold. I have a lot of gold and silver. And the difference is between your philosophy and my philosophy is I like debt. You see, the reason I teach people how to use debt is because debt is the new money. See, what happened after 1971 when Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard? The dollar became debt. And so when the financial pundits are telling the poor middle class to get out of debt, what the rich are doing is using debt. Ask your banker this question. Does a banker want your savings, or does he want you to borrow millions of dollars from him?
And this is simple, but it's also complex. There's different philosophies. I would either go with the pay for your house, but get one at a good bargain, stay in it forever, and then run entrepreneurial businesses and do things like that and come up with new products. Or you can go with the whole debt model and businesses, but you got to be smart, pretty darn smart, to go with your model. I think that's the only problem with your model, Robert, is that if you know what you're doing, it's the best model. It's what the insiders use, but the general public is going to get basically screwed over because they're not going to actually follow what you say. Try to explain it to people.
Well, amen. You said, if you don't have any financial education, don't do what I do. And the reason I wrote Second Chance, I got this in 3 parts: the past, the present, and the future. And again, there's pictures throughout the same whole thing so that your kids can understand it. But what you do is up to you. I learned my financial education began with my rich dad, who was my best friend's father, at age 9, teaching me to play Monopoly. And for about 30 years, we played Monopoly, adults. And today, as an adult, I play Monopoly as an adult. For the formula is 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel. So in 2007, when the markets crashed, unfortunately, millions were losing everything. Guys like me were going to the very banks that set up the crash and saying, would you give me a couple of $1 million to go do this? You see, what I'm saying in Second Chance is that all coins have 3 sides: heads, tails, and in the middle, which is intelligence. To stand on the edge is intelligent. And what you're saying, I agree exactly with you, is be intelligent. Hear what I'm saying, hear what you're saying, but ultimately, it's up to you, the guy on the edge, that has to make up their own mind. I made up my mind a long time ago.
That's right. I mean, the real fortune is in the arena. Fortune favors the bold, to quote British SAS. But if you're going to get in the arena, you better be ready.
That's right. I didn't go to Vietnam after 1 day. I spent 2 years practicing out at Camp Pendleton, shooting rockets and machine guns at dummies. And then I went, a few months later, I was in the real place. So you got to practice. That's one of my big complaints about school. That's the silliest thing schools do. They punish you for making mistakes. Well, how in the world do you learn anything if you make mistakes? How does a baby learn to walk?
Absolutely. You got to war game everything. Robert Kiyosaki is our guest. Stay with us. More calls straight ahead.
This hour brought to you by InfidelBodyArmor.com. When it hits the fan, don't be left without the body armor that will save your life. With prices starting at just $374.99 and ships free. Get yours at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Managing your business and customers isn't easy, huh? SnapForce customer relationship software may be just what you need. SnapForce CRM is a software solution that helps you manage everything important about your customers, from sales to marketing to service and support. All of your customer information is right there at your fingertips for easy access. It's time to take control of your business in a snap. Get your free trial at snapforce.com. That's SNAPFORCE.com. Snapforce.com.
Healthy elimination is essential to high energy, a cheerful mood, and prevention of disease. Some of the founders of our modern holistic health thinking state that disease begins in a toxic colon. A toxic intestinal tract is the foundation for virtually all degenerative disease, and a clean and well-moving intestinal tract is the foundation of health.
I just want to say that you folks have an amazing product. I've taken whey protein products for years, and I've never noticed the results I have with your product. I've suffered with bouts of constipation most of my life. Within a few days of taking One World Whey, I noticed a dramatic change. Also, in the past few years, I've experienced symptoms associated with diabetes. I feel horrible when I've had too much sugar, and I've been getting the foot pain as well. But I've noticed in the past week or so, I'm not feeling bad anymore, and the foot pain is gone. I'm just finishing up a 5-pound tub I ordered and just got off the phone ordering more. I love your product. Thank you.
Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldway.com. That's oneworld.com.
As the New World Order continues to tighten its grip on every facet of life in this country, we're all asking ourselves, how can we maintain our independence? The answer is, get prepared and get prepared now. My Patriot Supply has the deal to get you started. Call 1-800-274-3070 today to get a 72-hour emergency food supply for only $10, including free shipping. Especially in an emergency situation, you don't want to rely on the government for anything. Having an emergency food supply is an important first step to making sure you'll never surrender to FEMA's control. Call 1-800-274-3070 to get your emergency food supply for only $10, including free shipping. You won't be able to find this deal online, and there's a strict limit of 4 per caller, so don't wait. Call 1-800-274-3070 today.
Alex Jones here, back live. We've got 6 minutes in this segment, 5 minutes after that, and then our guest has got to leave us. We're going to look at endocrine disruptors on record and household items and a big way to boost your health with Dr. Edward Grip coming up, and other news in the next hour. A lot of key news breaking at Infowars.com that I have not gotten to. Stuff like elderly man facing 10 years over unloaded flintlock pistol. That's just an amazing story. Walking while Jew, what they're not telling you. And if people attacking Jews in Europe get political support, or now this sit-in Black Lives Matter, where black folks go in and kind of rough up and get in white people's faces, this is just racism being promoted, and it's more divide and conquer. We should all just come together for freedom. I know it's a liberal cause celeb to hate Jews, but it's going nowhere. And the globalists are promoting it. And I assure you, every Jew on the face of the earth was teleported to the moon, we would still have major problems. So it's a scapegoat, it's an excuse, and it's sick. That's all I have to say on the subject. We're going back to our guest, richdad.com, Robert Kiyosaki. Let's go ahead and go to Chris in Washington, then Vincent, Bubba, John, Eric, and others. Chris, your question for Robert.
Yeah, my question is, I lost a job of 12 years, turned the 401k into an IRA Roth at a credit union, and I'm wondering if that's really a safer place to put it. I also have recently put it into my wife's name, so she's a Japanese national. I could wire it to Japan. But I'm wondering if those accounts would be frozen, would even keep me from wiring funds internationally. And is the 401k Roth, because it's a credit union, make it more safe?
Again, I'm going to say all coins have 3 sides, heads, tails, and the edge. I don't have an IRA, I don't have a 401k, and I don't have a Roth, simply because my rich dad taught me how to manage my money without the control of the government. See, the 401k and the Roth IRA are government, vehicles, basically. And they're doing their best to get the poor and middle class to do something for their retirement. Now, that's good for most people. I wouldn't do it. I'm concerned about them because the market's at all-time tops. So like I've always said, what you do is up to you. What I do is what I can do. For example, if Mark Zuckerberg called me right now and says, hey, why don't you start Facebook? You know, I can't even use my cell phone, much less, you know, create a.
So you got to financially be involved in what you know.
Yeah, and what your experiences are and all this. Like, you know, a farmer would do something different. You know, a secretary would do something different. A doctor would do something different. But what, and I'm not against them, what the big banks have trained us to do is go to school, but they give us no financial education. Save money, which means give their money to the bank, you know, pay your taxes, get out of debt, and invest for the long term in the stock market. I don't do that. And that's what Second Chance is about.
Because you can't put all your eggs in one basket, Chris. But I mean, obviously, what do you think of his idea of getting money out of the country?
Yeah, you better talk to an attorney because I'll just tell you this much: they're cracking down very, very hard.
That's right. I talked to a lot of famous people that left the country years ago, and
they're cracking down so hard right now. If you do anything even smells illegal, you're in trouble. So you've really got to have good...
Unless you're an illegal alien, then you're above the law. Thank you so much. Let's go to Vincent in North Carolina. You're on the air.
Thanks for having me. I guess probably what I just need to do is get the book. Mr. Kiyosaki, I had purchased your one of your Rich Dad programs, which teaches how to get into real estate investing. And about that time, which was shortly before I think the last time you were on Alex's program, I was seriously looking into that. And then I realized that the housing market was really going down, that it may be difficult for somebody to get into, you know, renting properties and things like that.
Hold on, Vincent. I'm going to hold you over. We're coming back in 70 seconds with Robert Kiyosaki. I'm Alex Jones, Infowars.com. Don't hang up, Vincent. I want you to finish your question.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with super male or super female vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Robert Kiyosaki's also co-authored 2 books with Donald Trump, and a third Trump book for 2016 is being developed. We're going to get him on routinely when these books come out. We want to jam in a few more questions or comments here with the callers. And listen, I can have a Harry Dent on who disagrees with gold and silver, and then have a Kiyosaki on that agrees with it. I can have a Jim Rogers on. I can have a, I mean, we're giving you different perspectives, but from basically an honest perspective about how stuff's rigged at the top. And the only way to survive is to know how things are rigged and basically play off of that while you expose it. I think that's what we're getting at here today. But Vincent, specifically, finishing up your question, you were going to do real estate, but you saw what was happening in it. Go ahead, your question.
I guess my the thing that became problematic to me is, how does a person succeed in a business or in real estate if so many people are living off of subsidies and things like that, and jobs are just kind of vanishing? I've noticed a lot of people, a lot of businesses here where I live have just closed down.
Well, that's one thing about real estate is you got to be in the right area to be investing in it. A good question, Vincent. Robert, when is the right time to invest in real estate?
Well, the first thing is I've been in real estate probably 45 years, and I started back in 1973, I believe. I took a little infomercial class, $385, and I learned how to buy real estate for nothing down. But as the instructor said to my little class, I was still a Marine, he says, your education begins when you leave the class. You have to go out and practice. So I went out, his instruction was each person in the class had to go look at 100 properties, not buy anything, but write an evaluation of it, and then buy something. Unfortunately, what our schools teach you is don't make mistakes. And so most people don't want to go through that process of the 100, looking at 100 properties, making a lot of mistakes, being stupid all the time. And then finally the lights go on in your head. If you're going to do real estate, stocks, bonds, currencies, goldfish, whatever you want to do, you have to go through that process of
Absolutely. You gotta lose to know how to win, to quote Aerosmith.
Well, you've got to make mistakes to learn. And that's why my poor dad, like I said, a PhD, head of education in the state of Hawaii, graduated from college in less than 2 years. The reason he was not successful is because he never made any mistakes. So when he got fired from his job as head of education for the state of Hawaii, after running for a candidate for lieutenant governor as a Republican in the Communist Republic of Hawaii, he couldn't work. He didn't know what to do. Here is guy a PhD. He's unemployed at age 50.
And that's the monopoly cult system versus the free market, and the cult system's taking over, folks. John in Texas, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Alex, I was in high school back in when Nixon took us off the gold standard. And the first thing I noticed that through the 1950s, everything I paid 5 cents or 10 cents for, comic books, soda pop, candy bars, everything started climbing.
That's right.
And it hasn't stopped since. And what I want to ask your guest is, he really thinks 2016 is when the brakes are going to burn out on the inflation engine and everything's going to go to hell?
My answer is the job of a prophet is to be wrong. I mean, Alex and I are the same guy. We're just different nationalities. We're trying to tell people, wake up. Don't be a victim of it.
Yeah, we're giving you our best guess. It doesn't mean we know everything.
Yeah, we're doing our best, like we're kind of like Howard Stern. We're shock jocks trying to say, hey, wake up, take a look around, see what's going on. Don't just do as you're told like they do in school. So I don't know. I hope it doesn't happen in 2016. But if it does, like a Boy Scout, are you prepared for it? I'll just say this last thing here is this. When that market comes down, the rich are going to get richer. What are you going to do?
That's right, because they're going to be prepositioned, and there's things little guys can do. Then you'll get bigger, and we need the patriots, the liberty lovers, the conservatives, the classical liberals to know this stuff, so it's not just a bunch of cronies like Nancy Pelosi making money. Robert Kiyosaki, thank you so much. Hope you'll come back in a few months when the new book comes out as well, 8 Lessons in Military Leadership for Entrepreneurs.
Thank you very much, Alex.
Amazing interview. I think that was a really good interview. We're going to come back and get into something you can do about excitotoxins and things in household products and how to avoid them and more. It's self-help straight away. When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with super male or super female vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
For all of recorded history, civilizations around the world praised the health benefits of silver. At InfoWars Life, our mission is to bring you the highest quality, purest, cleanest, effective colloidal silver on the market today for the lowest price available. You don't have to be a doctor to know. The fall and winter months are the most dangerous time of year in North America when it comes to you and your family's health. InfoWarsLife.com is very excited to announce our biggest run yet of Silver Bullet colloidal silver, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Now InfoWarsLife.com has taken colloidal silver to the next level using a cutting-edge technique that is free of toxic artificial additives. Now more than ever, it's important to stock up on high-quality Silver Bullet from InfoWarsLife.com. No survival chest is complete without Silver Bullet. Secure your Silver Bullet today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Silver Bullet. The month of February is all about Valentine's Day. Big heart-shaped boxes filled with delicious candy. What if we, the Patriots, hijacked Valentine's Day and instead made it about human liberty and individual empowerment? I'm all about human potential. I'm all about the individual being empowered. The establishment is the opposite. That's why they spike our water with fluoride and GMO, estrogen mimickers, and the rest of the garbage. InfoWars is striking back in the month of February with Human Empowerment Month. How we can come together and win the human race. And to celebrate the kickoff of Human Empowerment Month, we're slashing prices on InfoWarsLife.com products like Super Male and Super Female Vitality. The sale is only running for the month, 20% off, and there's a lot of other powerful specials at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsLife.com, celebrating human potential in the month of February. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to find this special and many others in the month of February. Again, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
You are obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth. A lie. No man is obsolete. You have no function, Mr. Wordsworth. You're an anachronism, like a ghost from another time. I am nothing more than a reminder to you that you cannot destroy truth by burning pages. You're a bug, Mr. Wordsworth, a crawling insect, an ugly, misformed little creature who has no purpose here, no meaning. I am a human being. Words, Mr. Wordsworth, that have no substance and no dimension. Man, I love like air, like the wind. I don't care. I tell you, I don't care. I'm a human being. I exist. And if I speak one thought aloud, that thought lives. Yes. Even after I'm shoveled into my grave.
Power. The people have power.
Mr. Wordsworth.
God has power.
Illusions that you
Goodness has power.
To make you think you have a strength when you have no strength at all.
Honor has power.
But spindly limbs in a dream, and the state has no use for your kind.
Resistance to tyrants is obedience to God.
It's Dr. Edward Group.
Alex Jones.
Well, for the next hour, he's here in studio with us at least once a month. He comes up from his command center in South Texas to Central Texas. He's Dr. Edward Group, good friend of mine, the developer of many of the products at InfoWarsLife.com, which we fund our operation with. Good old-fashioned, high-quality products. Our goal is to bring you very high-quality products at very competitive prices when you study the nutraceutical market so that you get good health and boost your immune system and are happier and have more energy. We get to use the products. We get to fund our operation and have a win-win-win-win-win. Because my rule is, well, from my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, do unto others as you have them do unto you. Lay down your life for your brother. But what's crazy is doing things the old-fashioned way of a fair shake and treating people like you want. And, you know, I mean, I like inviting friends or family over and cooking a big dinner for them. I mean, I just have that hospitality. And our listeners understand that, and they've given us hospitality. And we want to thank them for all their financial support. And going into 2015, we've got a lot of big plans. We've launched so much of it. You've seen the effect. You've seen the enemy double and triple and quadruple their attacks. It's because they're giving us basically Oscars. They're giving us awards. They're giving us Emmys or Grammys. They're giving us the Blue Ribbon. They're giving us the Science Fair Award. They don't tell you you're great or ignore you when you're not hurting them. When they demonize you and attack you, first they ignore you, then they attack you, then you win, to paraphrase Mahatma Gandhi. And we're entering the hardcore attack. And listen, who knows what will happen to my operation going through all this? Who knows what will happen to Alex Jones? I could die in a car wreck today, God forbid. all these other great people, some of them who were doing this before I was, like Dr. Group, they're out there taking action. They're not backing down. People understand the game plan. They understand the globalist operation. Whereas 20 years ago, almost no one knew the Federal Reserve was private. Almost no one knew what crony capitalism was. Almost no one knew the IRS was set up same year as the Federal Reserve at Jekyll Island. Now that stuff's out there even in the general public. So you've got the hired mercenaries of the system and their camp followers who, a lot of them believe we got to prop it up even if it's a fraud. It's going to crush us when it falls. It's designed to implode globally into the new world order government, which is worse. So I'll be quite frank, I don't even want this thing to collapse, even though it's corrupted out of control and has problems. I don't want civil war. I don't want cop shot. I don't want any of that, because that brings in the global government. So they accuse us of trying to destabilize. We're trying to stabilize, and everybody knows it. And I'll tell you this, good sectors of the establishment that are not insane, who are not self-destructive, listen to this show, and they already knew what was going on before I was probably born, but they understand we're entering a very dangerous sector. So even if they got their wealth or secured their wealth through the system, they understand that they're going into a new level of the system in the end game where there's not going to be very many people at the top. In fact, there's going to be one at the top, one ring, and in the darkness bind them. Take that allegory. That's the devil at the center of the spider's web. And you can say, oh, the devil doesn't exist. Fine. For the sake of argument, it doesn't exist. I don't believe that, but I'm saying, for the sake of argument, this archetype, it seeks total power over everything. Germany had a great economy, doing great. Why did Hitler start invading everything? Because that's what he did. The communist. Why did they do what they did? They want to dominate. They want... Why does Jeffrey Dahmer grab, 12-year-olds off the street and torture them to death? Because that's what they do. When you're dealing with a mentally ill person or a psychopath, you're like, this doesn't make sense. Well, it doesn't matter. Stop trying to... I say stop trying to figure it out. You do need to figure it out. But once you know they're nuts... Once you know they're following a different logic path, and to them it all makes sense, it's like a psychological virus. You just got to step aside from it and go, hey, this is the cause of the problem. We're not offering some utopia, but we are offering solutions that will make a better world. We have goodwill. We want to be treated good. We want to be safe. We want you to be treated good and be victorious. We like winners. We don't see somebody do good in business or somebody win the 100-yard dash and get mad. We admire those people. We don't see someone come up with a better product and go, well, I want to destroy them. We go, let's make something better. But this loser mentality that is the opposite of what built this country is hate everyone who's successful or beautiful, period, but then don't care about the Warren Buffetts that got it through theft, basically. So you've got this super elite who've taught us how to hate success, taught us not to believe we can have success when it's waiting there for us the minute we understand history. Now, I've kind of gone off into a self-help area because I've been saying for a year I want to get into that on air and start really trying to help people with what we can do, or more than a year. Savage is going that direction. I don't think he's imitating me. He's super smart. He gets what people need, what they're ready for. They're done messing with the system. We're still fighting on that level, but it's about us changing our decisions in health, in wellness, in defense, in, quite frankly, the system's lawless now, so more and more folks aren't following the system because it's illegitimate. Dr. Group, I've been ranting. You've got the floor to talk about the state of the world, the big vaccine push, and your big breakdown. If you're a TV viewer, you can see all this. Household items from Tums to Reynolds Wrap to tampons to baby oil to Lone Star beer to Dixie cups to baking soda to just bottled water. You've got a whole bunch of stuff there that's household, getting into these trace toxins that they admit are killing us. So we'll break it all down today. Dr. Edward Group of the Global Healing Center and the guy advising and consulting to InfoWarsLife.com.
Well, exactly. It's like a big pharma executive once said, the biggest tragedy is if we kill people with pharmaceuticals, but the second biggest tragedy is if we cure people with pharmaceuticals. So it all boils down to the combination of talking about self-help is how do we recognize all of the things that are going on around us so we can avoid it and we can educate people. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was, and we've talked about it before, is the attack on our hormones and the epigenetics, because right now there's such an attack, a broad spectrum attack. It's not one thing that they focus or they poison you with. It's a combination of thousands of different things, but it's got to the point now where they're literally trying to change the genes even when the fetus is in the womb, and focusing on right now.
So they're creating designer babies through a cocktail warfare approach.
You know, it's all, like I've talked about before, you have the endocrine system, and there's an attack on the endocrine system, and for those people out there that don't know what the endocrine system is, it's composed of the glands that secrete hormones. It's really responsible for running your whole body.
I saw the number in Time magazine last year. The average 40-year-old man has half the testosterone they used to have.
Right.
And they used to be against police being given that, but they need to because they have half the testosterone. Some of them obviously overdo it, but I mean, we're under attack.
It's a slow way to keep you in the system, to keep you controlled, because number one, you have the pituitary gland, which is an important hormone-producing gland in the body. That's knocked out with calcification with the fluoride. Then you have the thyroid gland, which is also knocked out with the calcification of fluoride and all the other bromine and chlorine and everything else. Then you have the intestines, which is one of the largest endocrine glands. And the intestines are taking a severe attack with all the diet drinks, the GMO foods, the microwave foods, all of that stuff. Then you have the ovaries, the testes, the reproductive system that's taking a beating right now with all the different types of chemicals. So really what you have is a combination of endocrine disrupting chemicals that are causing hormone deficiencies, testosterone deficiency in males, estrogen dominance in males, estrogen dominance in females, and then you're getting a whole list of symptoms out there that are affecting everybody anywhere from headaches to sterility, creating how this all ties into the population control agenda as well. Not only creating sterility, but the list of multiple symptoms that ultimately affect these organs. And then the individuals go in and get on prescription medications, and then one prescription medication leads to two. And by the way, the prescription medications a lot of times contain fluoride compounds, chlorine compounds, and a list of other things that are going to disrupt your hormone levels.
So we're being bombed.
Well, one of the things with disrupting the endocrine system is it usually causes some form of mental illness.
Of course.
So you're going to have depression, you're going to have excess stress, you're going to have anxiety, you're going to have psychosis.
Well, that's why Super Male makes me so much more nicer. Even the crew has said it since I went to a larger dose, is really, I mean, it's got a bunch of known things that are in these plants. What is it doing to my body? I mean, I didn't mean this to be an infomercial, but I'm just bringing it up. Why is it so dramatic for men and women?
Well, that's one of the reasons that I started working on, is because, number one, you need to avoid some of those chemicals, and we'll go over some of the most common ones in your household in a minute.
Here's an example. I was exhausted yesterday at about 5. I just took a double dose of it, had incredible energy till 11.
Listen to this right here. I actually brought some of these product reviews, and this was from a happy wife that wrote in. According to my husband, Super Male Vitality is amazing and easy to take, tastes good, works. I asked to elaborate on works, but he said, I don't know, works makes you feel better all around. And then she says, now let me tell you what I, as his wife, have to say. Oh my wow, not only is he in a better mood all the time, not that he hasn't been before, but men menstruate too. Let me tell you, ladies, get this for your man. Put it in his coffee if you have to. It works. Plus, as an added bonus, the incredible increase in sex drive. Yay. I'm never letting my husband stop taking Super Male Vitality. So many good benefits from
Just try it, folks. You're going to instantly be hooked.
So we have to do something about it. I mean, our testosterone levels are low. Our estrogen levels are high. We've got to get rid of the sources, number one, but then we've got to support our
That's right. I want to come back and tell folks what the chemicals are and how to avoid them, because that's a big part of the battle. Stay with us.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
It's no secret that government and big business buy in bulk and get huge discounts not available to the little guy. Until now. Introducing a breakthrough crowd buying website where people can join together, buy in bulk, and get massive discounts on millions of popular products. It's TogetherSave.com. TogetherSave.com. You can save 20, 30, or even 50% off tablets, smartphones, cars, appliances, textbooks, sports equipment, video games, and much more. All with free delivery. Check it out. TogetherSave.com. Visit now and start group buying today at TogetherSave.com.
Gold isn't for you? Ted Anderson, president of Midas Resources, one of the world's premier gold and precious metal investing firms. I get it. You wouldn't buy gold if you believed that the government is doing a great job, that the Fed will stop handing out trillions of dollars like bailout candy, that Social Security would be there for you. That's not what's happening. You might even pass on gold if the stimulus package wouldn't fuel inflation, or that the dollar wouldn't lose value, or that your retirement would be secure. If all looks rosy to you, then now is not the time to buy gold. For the realists, there have never been more sobering reasons to diversify with gold. Since 2001, the U.S. dollar index has tanked 30% while gold has risen 300%. Right now, savvy investors are adding gold to their portfolios. You should too. Find out what they know. Call us and I'll send you 10 reasons why gold will do very well. Free. 800-686-2237. 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
What good is a Big Berkey water filter?
We get that question a lot here at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And in a word, the answer is protection. Protection from water main breaks, E. coli contamination, environmental chemical spills, pesticide runoff, chlorine taste and smell, and all forms of fluoride. Plus, Big Berkey water filters are the original gravity water filter system and most trusted on the market for a reason. Tested by multiple independent NSF EPA certified labs, they are the gold standard in water purification. At only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. That means big savings. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get a Big Berkey today at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit our website or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
A lot of people's lives and bodies are out of balance. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops optimize pH level and get rid of harmful waste and acid. Just a few drops in water restores vibrance and energy and gets you back in balance. Now order 2 bottles and get $10 off your order. Sign up for monthly auto shipping and save 25%. Call 800-518-7615 or visit alkavision.com. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com.
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. This could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A General Steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
By the way, Alex Jones here back live. When I had Dr. Group drive up here to be on the show, we were just going to cover endocrine disruptors and not get into an infomercial about InfoWarsLife.com. But we've had a copyright claim for showing a BBC News article concerning New Haven. I mean, I checked with a lawyer, too. It's just absolutely not a violation. Totally, absolutely fraudulent. And we've contacted the people involved and said, you better remove this. We're going to have to take action. Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement, has been taken down. One version had 4 million views. A company out of Canada is claiming they own the music. Rob Jacobson made some of the music and also hired Golden Arm Trio that makes music for Richard Linklater movies and paid them handsomely to make original scores with a partial symphony. Now, I was there where they wrote the music and played it, and this group says they own my film, and they won't take the strike off. So we're getting hit on other channels, our channels, harassment's coming out of the woodwork, and now Gizmodo, that's a huge site, has come out, and they're going to have to do a retraction, because at a certain point I got to take action. They say that we're selling table salt as our nascent iodine, as if table salt even has iodine in it. They say that it is potassium iodine, and not nascent iodine when that's not what it is. And then they attack our vitamin B12. And they just basically say we're quacks. I mean, the word has gone out. We're being attacked at probably, let's not exaggerate, 5 times any previous level. Dr. Group, you read this article. They brought it into me during the break. I didn't know that this had happened. You've already seen this. The online store where preppers buy their BS cures, and then it's attacking me. When in the industry, we talk to the companies that make it, not just your factory, but some of the other products, and they say, we're so proud to work with you. This is the most expensive formulation ever, you know, what you actually put into it versus what you sell it for. So they're now trying to defame us right now. Obviously, the order's gone out because we're exposing the vaccines. Dr. Group, what do you make of this?
I agree. There's an attack right now on natural health from, you know, companies all over the world. I don't... You know, I definitely think something should be done about it, but the good thing is they're not going to find anything. They obviously don't know what they're talking about because they're saying table salt. So I think it's just that. And
Ashley Feinberg wrote this.
There is absolutely the products that you have in the InfoWars Life, the ones that we're manufacturing, and even the ones that you have that I still
we have you review it.
You have me review. I mean,
and outside lawyers.
Guaranteed. I mean, you will not find a pure, better product anywhere in the world.
By the way, we expected all these attacks years ago when I launched Supplement Line. So good luck.
If they hired some sort of a chemist or biochemist or nutraceutical analyst, there's nothing they could.
They don't even say that. They just say most likely it's table salt in it. Just most likely, you know, that there's flying monkeys in the bottle.
Right.
It says, here, let me read this part. If you're buying a supplement promoted as nascent iodine, it is most likely sodium iodine. See, they say supplement. They say it's us. Don't even say, though. This is all written by a lawyer, it looks like, to be safe. See, they're like, oh, we're a fraud. We're a scam. We're BS. But, oh, if it's some other product, not them. Some other product might be Salt Group, not us. We're not salt, are we? Are we potassium iodide?
We are not potassium iodide. We are pure crystalline iodine.
Are we sodium iodide?
Deep in the earth. We are not sodium iodine. And that, they were probably paid, is what I'm guessing, by a pharmaceutical
company. But I mean, I was reading this during a 3-minute break. It's all just a load of bull.
It is. It is. And absolutely.
Can I just jump in for a minute?
This is Anthony Gucciardi. Yeah, I'll hold you over, but I got to say this, Anthony. We searched all over with the methylcobalamin. Basically, this is sublingual, the same thing you inject from a pharmacy where one little bottle of it costs $30 to $40. I know because I inject it, folks. Okay, I injected on top of it, and I said, this is so good. And we looked into it. Years in the making. This is methylcobalamin. If we were to put this in bottles and get a pharmaceutical license to put it out, there's probably 10 bottles of what I pay $50, $40 for, depending on the pharmacy, in this of the methylcobalamin. It is the pharmaceutical grade, you lying bastards. I'm sick of their crap.
Not only is it methylcobalamin, it's adenosylcobalamin in there, too. This is better than the pharmaceutical.
I know, and then they say we're selling crap. Man, I'm sick of everybody defaming me, man.
There's 2 cofactors of B12. Even the pharmaceutical companies
you know that you were developing. This is the Rolls-Royce of vitamin B12.
That is the Rolls-Royce. I challenge anybody in the
And they're telling us that we're selling crap with no evidence.
That is above Rolls-Royce. That's the Bentley.
Maybe I've sent the wrong signal to MSNBC, not suing them, saying I was involved in the Boston bombing. And then they think they can just make anything up now, these companies. Maybe I'm just going to have to go to town, man. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of these people.
Well, when something's working and people are actually getting better, and it's very hard to get positive reviews online when you have a nutraceutical.
Look at us. We have the highest reviews.
You have 4.8 star reviews. That's unheard of. I mean, these products work, and if they, if someone's not happy with them, they have a full money-back guarantee. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. These are better than pharmaceuticals. They're nutraceuticals.
We'll be right back, Dr. Gribb. Stay with us. InfoWarsLife.com. They're scared, folks. They're scared of our funding. They're scared of these products and you getting incredible
Alex
results.
Jones and the GCN
They know where we're going. They can see. We're on an elevator straight up. You guys can't stop freedom. Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems and enhance overall health. Introducing the new InfoWarsLife.com oil of oregano formulation, a highly advanced nutraceutical form of this key herb that has been traditionally used by civilizations for thousands of years to promote health. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market, sourced from top leading manufacturers to ensure a concentrated level of bioactive ingredients ingredients, extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules. You will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Wild crafted from the Mediterranean oregano species that experts agree is one of the most powerful and most challenging to acquire. This winter season, it's more important than ever to secure this true form of oil of oregano. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. The month of February is all about Valentine's Day. Big heart-shaped boxes filled with delicious candy. What if we, the Patriots, hijacked Valentine's Day and instead made it about human liberty and individual empowerment? I'm all about human potential. I'm all about the individual being empowered. The establishment is the opposite. That's why they spike our water with fluoride and GMO, estrogen mimickers, and the rest of the garbage. InfoWars is striking back in the month of February with Human Empowerment Month. How we can come together and win the human race. And to celebrate the kickoff of Human Empowerment Month, we're slashing prices on InfoWarsLife.com products like Super Male and Super Female Vitality. The sale is only running for the month, 20% off, and there's a lot of other powerful specials at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsLife.com, celebrating human potential in the month of February. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to find this special and many others in the month of February. Again, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
What disaster is so powerful, it unleashes a chain of mass pandemics, economic meltdowns, and violent food riots, all at the same time? NASA has already set the countdown timer, and right now the 21st century apocalypse is less than 13 months away. Former CIA Director James Woolsey says 2/3 of U.S. population could perish. In a matter of seconds, the world as we know it will cease to exist. The world's economy will be wiped out. Mass riots will follow. Ancient diseases will reemerge. How will you shield yourself and your loved ones from this upcoming apocalypse? Go to darkestdays.info to find out proven methods of protecting yourself, your loved ones, and even your entire community when this worst-case scenario unravels. That's darkestdays.info. darkestdays.info. Go there before this life-saving information becomes unavailable to the large public. Go to darkestdays.info now.
The Alex Jones Show, because there is a war on for your mind.
I didn't mean to go off the deep end. They showed me this during the break. They imply there's rat feces in our products in this article. This is unbelievable. From Gizmodo, and we looked it up. I remember they're connected to Gawker, that is a known Democratic Party hardcore gay, lesbian, transgender front group. And I'm not even attacking those groups, but that's basically what this is. And I remember over the years, we'll even just link to a Gizmodo article about some tech thing, and they'll threaten us and stuff. So they don't like us. And, you know, we built these products, A, to be really high quality so folks want to come back and keep getting them, because that's what a real businessman does, is sell quality at a good price. Plus, I believe in reap what you sow. But we also set it up knowing, hey, we might be a target being Alex Jones if we're selling nutraceuticals when they go after everybody. So we're all set up with lawyers and the file cabinets and all the filing and all the samples and all the double, triple tested and outside labs testing and things. So it's all just made up. And it shows how they don't want anybody to be able to fund their own operation. They don't want people. I mean, here's an example. Last winter, my uncle, my cousin died, and my great uncle, all living near each other, the same weird mystery illness that are drug-resistant bacteria, the best we can tell. And it was all over the news in Texas. The mystery hospitals were filled everywhere. You're down by Houston. It was incredible. So I went to a medical doctor, but one that does nutraceutical stuff as well. And he said, look, just if you want to get bolstered and all this stuff, yeah, colloidal silver is good. The antibiotics didn't work. Another doctor. And they said, but take vitamin B12 and some other stuff. So they shot me up with vitamin B12. It's little bitty needles. You don't even feel it. So I started taking that during the winter season. I mean, it's killing my family. That's why I lost weight, starting to exercise, doing what you say. I was already getting into it because this is serious. I want my kids to be healthy. You know, I give them the methylcobalamin and the rest of it. Now, I don't inject our brand. The point is that it's the same thing that is the nutraceutical. The nutraceutical is the same thing that basically Big Pharma is putting out. In fact, it's hard to find a doctor that'll give you the real organic that isn't the artificial chemical version. The artificial chemical version is light pink and watery. The real stuff is just vibrant, super purple red. Describe what's in Secret 12.
What's in Secret 12 is a combination, the B12, like what you said, most of it, even in nutraceutical formulas, is in the cyanocobalamin form. And that form is very hard to break down. So really, the majority of people that think they're taking B12 are B12 deficient. And with our studies and looking at the population, we're finding that the majority of people are B12 deficient. And that's one of the things that we look for the InfoWars Life brands is what are people, the majority of the population, deficient in? Number one, they're deficient in iodine. Number two, they're deficient in B12. What are they not doing? You know,
by the way, I forgot. I have a vitamin B12 shot in my black jacket in my bathroom that I forgot to take this morning. I got busy and stuck it in my jacket. I think I'm going to take that on air. This is not a stunt. Just go see what's in my jacket in my bathroom. Thanks. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so if you look at what B12 breaks down to in the body, it breaks down into two cofactors, methylcobalamin and adenosylcobalamin. So what we did was figure out a way that we could, using our high-tech processing equipment in our facility, actually take both of those compounds using the glycerin and the Spagyr-X processing and make it almost like a nanoparticle, absorbable, stable supplement that you could take so you wouldn't have to go get the injection.
So higher absorption rates.
Higher absorption rates. We've had nothing but thousands and thousands of people that have been.
By the way, on third-party major rating sites, we have to do a whole video on this. We haven't done this yet. We don't even market properly. We have the highest ratings. I don't know. In fact, you've said you've never seen anything like this.
No, we have third-party ratings, too. None of the product reviews. I mean, you can look on Amazon, but then on our site and on your site, you have third-party reviewers. And that is to ensure that you're not just putting fake stories up there saying, hey, I took this product and it did good. I mean, those have to be approved by a third party before they go on the site.
This was in my jacket because this morning, I only take it about once a week. This is vitamin B12 that I forgot to take this morning.
Then is that the methylcobalamin?
Yeah, this is from the doctor.
Okay.
It's one of the only prescriptions I got.
Okay.
And I'm going to take it right now. Take it in the stomach. I mean, this isn't a game. I'm not going to let these people kill me. I mean, you know,
right.
I mean, the point is I believe in these products.
Well, the thing is, with the Secret 12, you can get just as much B12 as you can by taking an injection, and you can get the adenosylcobalamin as well. So even if you did want to take an injection, you can still take a squirt.
Oh, I hate needles, but these are so little. Yeah, and you don't shoot, you don't inject this in your fat, the stuff that we have.
And the thing is, I mean, I bring this up all the time, is the children. I mean, we got to look at the next generation and with these endocrine disrupting chemicals and how they're disrupting the testosterone and the estrogen of the children. And even
exactly, I'm fighting back with the Nascent iodine, the True Nascent iodine, with the cleansing, with the purified water, with the vitamin B12. I'm fighting back. My dad had 2 different things of antibiotics. He couldn't get well. We almost thought they were targeting our family or something. And then he drank like 3 bottles of colloidal silver over a couple of weeks, and it knocked it out. We're not saying there aren't side effects of colloidal silver, but man, you know what? My dad's alive.
The reason why they're attacking you is because nobody has figured out the core nutrients that you need these days to stay alive and combat the attack that they're putting on us. Okay, they're attacking and taking B vitamins out of everything to cause B12 deficiency, as well as...
I think the same group of memory serves, or it was Gawker. It was Gawker, actually. It was the same company. Memory serves. Check and make sure, folks. My memory says they're Gawker. They attacked us for saying juice liners will make you gay. Well, no, what I said was it was making the frogs have both biological organs, hermaphrodites, and it was doing it to humans, and I was showing studies about bisphenol A. Their answer was to say I was bashing gay people. I mean, that's just who these people are, folks. They don't want you to know. So getting off the InfoWarsLife.com products, get into the stuff people can actually do for themselves.
So what's happening is they're trying to create sterility, and they're trying to create...
By the way, it was Gawker. Crazy radio host thinks juice boxes are making kids gay. See how sick they are? But sorry, everybody knows this plastic's hurting people. So you're the ones that are discredited. I'm sorry. And I want to get Anthony in here, too. I know I'm ranting. Go ahead.
Okay, so I mean, there are thousands upon thousands of household items that you can have in your house, and I just bought a few of them here to show people, because how many men do you know that drink beer on a regular basis? Beer, it actually increases the estrogen content in males. It also...
Is that the hops?
Aluminum. Well, the hops has the dioxins because hops is heavily sprayed with pesticides and herbicides, mostly from Monsanto and Syngenta. So not only do you get the pesticide residue from the hops, But you get the aluminum, which is a metalloestrogen mimicker, as well as some of the other heavy metals. But you also have alcohol in itself.
So drink organic beer and drink it out of bottles.
And you have the bisphenol-lined cans as well.
Which is even worse.
So, I mean, everybody thinks bisphenol A is gone, but it's not. I mean, they just, it was a hoax with them taking it out of baby bottles. They thought
but it was a victory to show they at least had to hoax. But for those that don't know, most of the microwave liners you get for food, even if it says organic on the box, when it heats up, bisphenol A is baking into the food.
Just for that purpose, I brought these over here. These are microwaved foods. I mean, not only do you destroy all the nutrients by cooking your food in the microwave, but you also get...
Why are you being homophobic? Why are you warning folks that'll give them breast cancer? Why are you warning them bisphenol A is connected to breast cancer? Why do you hate gay children?
It's all about helping the public.
No, but I mean, I don't need to argue with you. I'll just say you're racist. I mean, why are you racist? In fact, there's got to be brown somewhere. They said brown bags are racist and are banned in Seattle. Is there something brown in this room? We got to get rid of these maps on the wall. They're kind of light brown. Over here, got to get rid of those. Sorry, Dr. Group, go ahead.
Well, okay, so you know how many digestive problems there are because the intestines are the endocrine gland, and how many people do you know that take antacids? I mean, I know people that pop these things, 10 or 15 a day. Antacids.
And your body just creates more acid to counter it.
Yeah, not only that, but there's endocrine disrupting compounds inside of these, the fillers and the toxic substances they use.
Why are you being racist?
And the dyes as well. The dyes actually cause a negative response. So mineral oil that you put on babies actually contains fragrances, and phthalates are endocrine disrupting chemicals that are used to carry fragrances. And that fragrances are extremely toxic and cause increased estrogen and low testosterone in males. And these people are putting this on their babies. And not only that, you have the laundry detergent, which has high levels of fragrances in it. You have the fragrant drying strips that people put in their dryers for their clothes. All these fragrances and phthalates get put in the clothes, and then you sweat, and they come in through your skin. You also have in the house, most shampoos and conditioners have high levels of parabens in them. They have high levels of endocrine disrupting chemicals. The lotions that you put
that's where they have a lot of distillates from oil refining, and so they got to put them somewhere. So in the 30s on record, they engineered a whole society. Your dad was a chemist that did that, to then put it into other products.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not against oil overall, but I don't want to eat it.
It's like benzene. I mean, they had so much benzene in petroleum production that they had to figure out what to do with it. And benzene is extremely toxic, and so they mix it with fluorobenzenes and other compounds, which are dioxins or volatile organic compounds. Why
are you being racist? Even though Monsanto dumped in the black neighborhoods the dioxins and killed tens of thousands of people and covered it up, still, it's racist that you don't want to kill black people.
I don't even know what to say.
Well, no, I mean, just the new thing is I just counter with you're a racist.
Oh, I know.
I see it on YouTube. I'll be talking about weather modification and they say this guy's a racist.
Right.
So just that's my new thing. I counter you.
Exactly.
When a cop pulls me over to write me a ticket, I'm going to go racist. They're going to say, why is it racist? It's just what you respond with.
Okay. All right. Well, I am a racist against all these things because they're killing everything.
That's right. You're discriminating against chemicals. Why are you hating? Why are you hating?
I'm hating because they're killing. And when they're killing, then I'm hating.
When they're killing, you're illing?
When I'm killing, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, even feminine hygiene products are bleached with different types of dioxins and chemicals that can cause toxic shock syndrome. Aluminum, again, deodorants.
You're hating on the silver people.
I am.
What's wrong with tinfoil? Here, let me have it. I'll put a hat on. I need to with all the cell phone radiation.
But then you're going to get all the electromagnetic radiation coming right into your mind there.
Actually, this will increase it,
Then you're getting aluminum put into your brain again. As a matter of fact, most pharmaceutical drugs, including what you were talking about earlier, the vaccinations and the flu shots, they have aluminum in them. And people wonder why.
I'm shielding myself right now.
Kids are getting sick. Might as well spray some of these toxic chemicals on you as well that are insect repellents. You know, insect repellents people lather themselves with. And then you can protect your head from the sun so you don't get...
See how fast I did that? Folks, I'm an expert. Every day when I leave work, I do this. Let's do a wide shot, guys. People can see the full power.
So you might as well drink some BPA water while you're at it. Then you can go ahead and do a detox and start cleaning yourself out later and neutralizing all the aluminum. So Anyway, soups, cans. I mean, the bottom line is go through your house and find all these things and eliminate them at the source, because you really need to figure out what's causing all these problems. It's about addressing the root cause of the problem, as well as using the type of supplements that we have to balance your hormones naturally and balance out your body naturally.
I can get Obama's emergency alerts through this. Now when he comes and takes over my cell phone when my Samsung TV's watching me, it's okay to wear a tinfoil hat now because it's admitted the TV's watching it. So now I actually like it now.
Are you maybe you'll actually believe what he's saying? Like when he came out the other day and said, I think every child should be vaccinated. You know, there's enough scientific evidence behind it.
There's no side effects. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The insert says it can kill you. No, I agree.
Yeah, I wonder
love
if
Obama. In fact, I love the system. I can now remove the tinfoil hat. The crown of power.
And now you are controllable because you have
it's like a medieval visor
frying your brain cells.
Preparing
now
for battle.
You'll have to take the oxy powder and all of the fluoride shield.
By the way, I got to say this when we go to Anthony Gucciardi and get serious. I got to stop this. I'm just giving my enemies photo op stuff on purpose because we know their attacks actually help us, so we appreciate all that. But what happens when they figure out their attacks are feeble? Then they might do some other attacks that we figured out might actually work. That's what I'm worried about. But analyze the enemy attack profile, Lord Group. Getting serious here. What do you make of the full court press for forced inoculation that's going on right now?
That's scary. You know, you can just, in plain sight, you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to say, you know, they're trying to blame it on the unvaccinated children. There's a push for mandatory vaccinations. I mean, they're trying to convince everyone.
Even though people that have the shot are getting the measles.
That's right.
Just 2 + 2 does not equal 5.
You know, the natural way that a child, you know, I talk to parents that have unvaccinated children, and what happens is all the vaccinated children, see, they don't do stories on all the vaccinated children getting all the unvaccinated children sick all the time. But usually what happens, and this is a pattern, the unvaccinated children will naturally, because the way that they're designing the flu shot, and you can get, you know, flu shots and vaccines at, you know, fast food restaurants sometimes now. And
why are you hating on McDonald's? Why are you hating on the Yellow Arches?
Because you're
against Asian people?
Because they're giving kids vaccinations that are hexavalent. They're mixing them all together now.
Obviously deadly.
So many of them together in one shot. And now they're the kids, at least the unvaccinated kids, you know, years ago, how did we develop our immune system? Okay, we were out there gathering fruit off the ground, touching bird poop, you know, picking apples off the tree,
what about
never
a bird
washing
poop
our
hat?
hands and eating it, and we would develop immunity. And, you know, now you're in a society where people are like, wash your hands, little.
Oh, they know now that it's this bubble syndrome of kids that aren't allowed to. My father had a black nanny. Like I met her before she died. I was a little kid. I'd have to go and visit her when we would go down to East Texas. And she said, Mrs. Jones, you're just keeping, you know, David too clean. And she convinced her, and the doctor actually agreed. No, Patty, you need to let him climb around the ground. And she was doing such a good job keeping him clean that he was getting sick. And then the black lady snuck off and boiled chicken poop with some other herbs, which gave him probiotics, and he was not sick anymore. And then she was, that's right, Mrs. Jones, I gave him the Hindu tea, and you can't stop me.
That's right. I mean, it's because we've gotten away from all
Hindu tea.
Old remedies of allowing somebody to be outside and developing immunity to their environment. And now, really, all these unvaccinated kids are vaccinated. They're just vaccinated secondarily because all the kids that go in and get the flu shot and the vaccinations spread the virus and all the other components to the unvaccinated kids through the air or through touching them through their skin or something like that. And then
you're right. I'm going to skip this network break because I got to you late. And it's the last break I'm skipping of the week. John Harmon, you're not allowed to let me skip more breaks. I'm costing the network so much money and myself so much money, but I just do it. That's how obsessed with money I am. I skip like breaks every day that cost us like $3,000 each time. But this is so important. Anthony has been sitting in there waiting, chomping at the bit. He's the one that brought this Gizmodo Democratic Party basically piece to our attention with no proof that says there's probably rat poop in our stuff. I mean, what? How scared are they? Anthony, what do you think's going on behind this? Because the attacks really are intensifying right now.
Well, you notice the way they word it. They basically go in and say, oh, yeah, they're selling iodine, which there's no evidence is actually good for you. But then they don't go into PubMed.
By the way, the government admits you'll die. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, in the 20s, they put it in the salt for a reason, because they were saying even the World Health Organization goes out, they spend millions of dollars trying to get iodine in Africa and other third world nations and different areas, and saying,
that's right. They found in China and like Brazil and places, you can look at the studies, just adding iodine has like made all these mental disorders and medical problems go down massively. They know, and then they go on and say, plus it's already in the salt, so you don't need it. No, it's been taken out of the salt. I mean, it's just lie after lie. Sorry, Anthony, I'm ranting.
No, exactly, and they admit the #1 cause of mental retardation is iodine deficiency. And they also say in Japan, make sure you take your iodine. And as Dr. Goop would tell you, they've been taking thousands and thousands of micrograms of iodine a day and preparing themselves. Fukushima disaster, they're dispersing it everywhere, saying take this, and admitting it's going into the United States on the West Coast. They're having radioactive cesium all across the West Coast in California.
And they admit this article that it can make you hyper. Well, yeah, if you get too much, it can, but if you don't get enough, you're going to be a slug. This country's full of slugs.
But here's the real scam, and why this article overall is very concerning. Because they're not talking about the iodine we're taking from 8,000 feet under the Earth's center and getting the actual salt
that
crystals
no one else has. That no one else has.
They're not talking about that. They're saying it's the same as table salt. And then they're going on Wikipedia and looking up iodine, the raw form, which if you actually touch the raw form, it'll burn through your skin, and saying, see, it's deadly. You can't even touch it. It's 101 on just totally dismantling.
And by the way, it is deadly until we shoot it with the gas and these big machines and the patents into the palm oil. And that's the whole point, is just in your body the natural way to pull everything out.
And let's just put it like this.
How about you idiots at Gizmodo? We'll send you some bottles and do a real review. I mean, this stuff changed my life. People deserve to get this, you turds. I mean, do you really want to be evil? You really want to tell people bisphenol A isn't bad and make fun of me? Like the Gawker? By the way, you guys did find it in Gawker. My memory was right, but isn't Gizmodo connected to Gawker? Is my memory correct? Did we check that?
It is correct.
It is correct. Okay, I just check my memory every time. Sorry, go ahead, Anthony.
And let's just put it like this, and we haven't decided to come out and even talk about this kind of stuff, but we're working with manufacturers that are doing billions and billions of dollars supplying Whole Foods, everything.
And they've said they've never seen anyone go for quality.
Never seen it. All their biochemists, nutritionists that work for them, everything, they're saying, can we please buy this? Can we please private label it? We'll just buy any amount you want. We've had major shampoo groups that we won't talk about come and say, hey, we found this is amazing for the hair. We need to buy massive millions of gallons of it.
And then we didn't do it, so they just bypassed us, and now we had the DEA try to shut us down. So I mean, it's just incredible. But then we ended up finding an even better source because of that. Sorry, go ahead, Anthony. I'm ranting.
No, exactly. You go ahead. I was just saying that then they go in and say it's bad for you. PubMed doesn't exist. National Library of U.S. Medicine doesn't say that iodine's amazing and conquers multiple different issues. And, of course, vitamin B is now bad, too. Oh, my God, look how much vitamin B there is. Yes, we give you actual real vitamin B and at a good value. A lot of
my gosh, it's the pharmaceutical grade. Oh, what are they doing? It's so evil. Oh, my. It's so scary.
FDA-certified labs. I mean, if they actually looked into it, they would probably... You know what's funny, though? Most people will click on that and they'll end up buying it because they'll actually read the research and they'll figure it out. So the people reading that article have already determined what they're going to do. If they're reading that website in the first place and they go there every day, then, chances are they're not going to be helped regardless.
But here's the thing. It's like Cass Sunstein at the White House says we must pass laws that you can't say you need sunlight. I mean, he actually said that in the New York Times. These people are bizarre.
I'll tell you what, the sunscreen is just as bad when people put sunscreen on. It's got
aluminum dioxide, right?
It's got all kinds of dioxins, chemicals in there that cause skin cancer. That's one of the worst things you can put on your skin. And so that's heavily promoted. I mean, it's attack from multiple angles.
It's on purpose, is what's crazy.
The attack is on the best supplements because they know that they work, and they know how big you are, and they know how many people are going to be out there getting better.
I mean, the best sales pitch is the truth. We're going to sell record amounts because of this. Because Gizmodo is a huge site. Thank you, Gizmodo, for lying about us. Thank you. And thank you for your parent company saying that bisphenol A isn't bad for people and saying I'm a homophobe. Just because people know the truth. So many listeners tune in because they go, I got to hear this guy. And they tune in and they go look it up and they find out it's true, Dr. Group.
Of course, and they're not saying, they couldn't even find one negative review or anything to put in there. They just made stuff up, and they're not going to be able to find.
Where's the rat poop part? I mean, where do they get that? Buckley said that. I couldn't read the whole thing. Oh, they put a picture of me acting silly. That really proves it's all. You know what? I'm real, folks. Everybody knows it. I was saying Kiyosaki's name wrong earlier. I mean, so what? I'm not trying to like frame what I say here.
That's the thing. I mean, when you're honest and you're real and you actually care and you actually devoted your life to make a difference in everybody else's life, I mean, I've spent 20 years identifying all the things that they're doing and
here's the
tracking
part.
them all down.
The special ingredient doesn't have to have any, well, I don't say special ingredient, level of purity. The ingredient may contain rat poop.
I don't know where they're coming up with that. I mean,
it's just amazing.
The processing that we use is all in sealed glass, borosilicate glass containers and mixing vessels. And let me tell you, how
do we know Lemmy Winks didn't get in there?
I've toured many manufacturing facilities, and everybody, and ours is all organic from the ground up.
Well, we've shown video of it.
Yeah,
We're proud of it.
Yeah, I'm not even, what manufacturing facility is going to show you videos throughout the whole facility and what they're manufacturing it in? Nobody's going to do that. We actually
except racists.
We take the extra time and care to ensure that we have the best quality products all the time that are going to actually make a difference.
Because we want to have high quality products that people love and stand government scrutiny to the highest level. Win, 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 win. And so we love these attacks. Just another joke.
It's just another attack. I mean, we've been under attack. I've been under attack for 20 years. You've been under attack for a long time.
20 years.
20 years, and it's just another attack.
Anthony, why do you think the attacks are intensifying so bad?
Well, at this point, I think it's obvious that someone has made the call from the copyright claims that are just ridiculous coming in every single day for some reason after they hadn't come in for years, to the random attack pieces that we see, even on some weird blog websites and everything like that. I think someone has decided, it looks like...
We know. They're mad about... This last time this happened was when we exposed H1N1. They're mad we're showing the inserts on air and trying to save people. Not because we're heroes, but because we don't want you brain damage or us brain damage.
Well, it's obviously...
In fact, I want full coverage of the measles. I just want to have 24/7 showing the inserts. They hate it. We're just going to keep doing it. The more you attack us, the more we show the inserts. Just keep it up. We're directly over enemy targets right now, gentlemen.
That's right. All you can do is just keep showing people and keep showing people and keep showing people all the information that you have and letting people go. It's not like what we're saying over here is not the truth. We've got all the research. I mean, each one of these endocrine disrupting chemicals, I mean, this is all stuff that every family has in their house that they've been convinced to buy through commercials at the grocery stores, because that's all the grocery stores will sell is toxic. And
we're displacing that now by buying with our dollars. So they're demonizing the food babe, and they're demonizing you, and they're demonizing Ron Paul, they're demonizing Rand Paul. And they got all these purists attacking Rand Paul because he's not perfect. Hey, I'm going to do 5 minutes of overdrive. I want to thank all of our affiliates. Spread the word about every affiliate now. We are really having a big effect. Thank those affiliates. We're growing really fast. The enemy is scared. They're collapsing. They're a bunch of Brian Williams scum. Stay with us.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
The month of February is all about Valentine's Day. Big heart-shaped boxes filled with delicious candy. What if we, the Patriots, hijacked Valentine's Day and instead made it about human liberty and individual empowerment? I'm all about human potential. I'm all about the individual being empowered. The establishment is the opposite. That's why they spike our water with fluoride and GMO, estrogen mimickers, and the rest of the garbage. InfoWars is striking back in the month of February with Human Empowerment Month. How we can come together and win the human race. And to celebrate the kickoff of Human Empowerment Month, we're slashing prices on InfoWarsLife.com products like Super Male and Super Female Vitality. The sale is only running for the month, 20% off, and there's a lot of other powerful specials at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsLife.com, celebrating human potential in the month of February. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to find this special and many others in the month of February. Again, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Final segment with the head of the Global Healing Center. Global Healing Center, was it .com? Excellent website. He's behind a lot of the products like X2, Super Male, Super Female Vitality, so many other products. He helped us, advised us, and consulted on us like DNA Force. And look, it's just funding our operation. And you can see the enemy attacking us. Quite frankly, I'm a man. I'm not anything special, but I'm a man. I know I'm doing the right thing. I don't want to die. I don't look forward to it. But I'll walk out of my house and some guy pulls a gun and shoots me from the government. I'm just kind of like, well, I didn't want to die, but hope my kids are all right. But I'm about to get the, a big vacation. I'm not scared. I'm scared, though, of not doing the right job to maximize the platform we've got, Dr. Grib, to warn people. All I can do is straight shoot, folks. That's all I got, is I'm a straight shooter. We've hardened this facility as well because of threats by ISIS and other scum. So we're also not going to roll over. But in closing, how do we save humanity? How do we follow God's mission to empower people and bring the light of liberty and truth to them?
Well, education, number one, and really what I'm going to say, one of the methods that I firmly believe in is giving people the tools that they need to think clearly, to become healthy, because I believe that health equals self-confidence and health confidence equals success. And that's why it's big for me to educate people to understand the attack from all the different angles, from the water that they drink that's contaminated, from the air that they breathe, from the food that they eat, and give people the solutions, such as eating clean organic food, drinking clean water, breathing clean air, all the things that we offer that are actually going to work from the inside out and combat. Well, and as those people get better, they tell people the solutions, and then the word just keeps spreading and spreading and spreading.
There's nothing like word of mouth. And look, I'm still a fat slob. I mean, I've lost probably 80% of my fat. I was almost 280. I'm down to below, 230 something. But the difference is I feel great. I've got more energy. My brain works better. I mean, they don't want us to have that. It was like magic when I started taking the iodine.
All these products are magical. I mean, it's not like you go to a drugstore and you go down the aisle with 1,000 different dietary supplements, which are all crap, and you take them and you never feel anything. The way that these supplements are designed, there's different levels of supplements.
And they're not synthetic.
These are the Bentley, these aren't the tricycle of supplements. These are actually going to cause measurable.
You take the oxy powder, it's just time-released oxygen. You've got it all proprietary. People take it and go, my God, you should hype this more. This is over the top.
Right.
I mean, oxy powder at InfoWarsLife.com.
How many people do you know that go to work every day and come home and say, I made a difference in somebody's life today? I mean, you can go home every day. I can
get money to fund our operation to fight for the Second Amendment, for family rights, for medical rights, for sovereignty, for our military to not be put on death list. I can't believe anybody actually attacks us. I mean, if you really look at what we do, it's so honest and real.
It is.
Don't put troops on secret death list. Don't have the government ship drugs in. Give people choice about their doctors. I mean, if I do anything wrong, even by accident, I'm guilty. But when I'm doing good, I feel so confident. I don't want to do anything wrong. So, that's why I don't get about these evil people. They don't have any conscience, Dr. Grib.
No, they don't.
I really feel sorry for them.
It'll come back and get them sooner or later. It's karma. If you do good for people, and you believe, and your mission in life is to help change the world, help people on a daily basis.
You will change the world.
You do that, you will. I mean, I wish we could just read the stacks of people writing in. I was just talking to your customer service department over there.
Why don't you go do a video on it with Anthony?
And they're amazed. They sit there all day long and talk to people, and the people say how this has changed their life, changed relationships, changed the way they feel, changed the way they think.
My dad took oxy powder, finally did it, and he said, my God, I feel 10 years younger. He looks 10 years younger. I didn't have the same effect. I looked a little bit better, but I'm so burnt out and it's under stress. My issue is stress.
Well, stress is one of the things that people, I wish we could have a product.
Dr. Grib,
take care of stress.
Dr. Grib, I've got to go deal with a meeting, but I'm going to let you come in and do a segment hosting straight ahead in overdrive. Dr. Edward Grib, you're going to get to talk. Don't worry, because I'm going to be gone.
If the IRS has garnished your paycheck or seized money from your bank account, you need to get professional tax help now. Fast action is required to put a halt to these aggressive IRS collection tactics. You can count on the knowledgeable team of tax professionals at Wall & Associates. With over 30 years of experience, Wall & Associates has settled the tax problems of thousands of taxpayers for a small fraction of what they owed. For a free face-to-face consultation, call 1-800-425-4610 to put a wall between you and the IRS. 1-800-425-4610 or look for us on the web at wallandassociates.net. We solve tax problems. If you hire Wall & Associates today, you'll never have to talk to the IRS again. To stop the levies and seizures today, take action now. Call Wall & Associates at 1-800-425-4610. Wall & Associates, 1-800-425-4610. Based on actual cases, results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services.
The month of February is all about Valentine's Day. Big heart-shaped boxes filled with delicious candy. What if we, the Patriots, hijacked Valentine's Day and instead made it about human liberty and individual empowerment? I'm all about human potential. I'm all about the individual being empowered. The establishment is the opposite. That's why they spike our water with fluoride and GMO, estrogen mimickers, and the rest of the garbage. InfoWars is striking back in the month of February with Human Empowerment Month. How we can come together and win the human race. And to celebrate the kickoff of Human Empowerment Month, we're slashing prices on InfoWarsLife.com products like Super Male and Super Female Vitality. The sale is only running for the month, 20% off, and there's a lot of other powerful specials at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsLife.com, celebrating human potential in the month of February. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to find this special and many others in the month of February. Again, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
Hi, this is Steve Spillum for Midas Resources. In 1971, President Nixon took the United States off the gold standard and put us into a fiat currency. This allowed Congress and the Federal Reserve to create trillions of dollars out of thin air. The national debt has risen to incredible heights, and your hard-earned dollars by a small fraction of what they once did. The average life expectancy for a fiat currency is 27 years. The dollar is failing and on borrowed time. When currencies fall, people turn to gold and silver because gold and silver have been real money for more than 5,000 years. It is our mission at Midas Resources to help you preserve your capital. Don't let your personal savings shrink to nothing. For important free information on how you can protect your personal wealth, contact me, Steve Spillum, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 308. Call today while we are still accepting dollars for gold and silver. 1-800-686-2237, extension 308. Make a change in your financial security today. That's 1-800-686-2237, extension 308.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
So I'm here with Anthony Gucciardi, and we're going to be talking about some of the victories and also some of the unknown chemicals and toxins that are found in people's homes that, you know, it's funny because it makes me think back. I mean, we were doing a little kind of a reality show a couple years ago, and we were going in people's homes, and I was challenged because there was some people that said, well, you know, this cleansing that you're talking about doing doesn't really hurt, and, you know, it doesn't really help anyway. And so we found 2 or 3 people. I had a producer that found 2 or 3 people out there in homes that were extremely ill. And what we were going to do was surprise them in the morning with a film crew. And I was going to go do a history on those individuals the proper way, instead of spending 7 minutes in a normal physician's office like most people go in and then leave with a prescription. We were going to go in and actually identify everything, because everybody's home and environment and diet is different. That's why you can't just give one person a prescription medication. You don't know how they're going to react to that. And then on top of that, 2 prescription medications, 3 prescription medications. What if they're, you know, using aluminum deodorant, or what if they're using some sort of toxic substances on their skin? How is that going to react with the pharmaceutical? So it was interesting because we went in and I would evaluate these individuals first of all, and then show up the next morning and tell them not to change anything. And sometimes we found mold in their house. They were sleeping with their laptop on their bed, on their body, plugged in, so they were exposed to electromagnetic radiation all night, went through their kitchen cabinets. All we found was toxic salt, high fructose corn syrup. Nothing was organic in their kitchens. We found toxin after toxin after toxin. And part of my initial research was to determine the root cause of all disease. And the root cause of all disease is too many toxins coming in the body and not enough toxins coming out, because we've become more of a sedentary society, sitting down all the time. So one of the things that I used to do is, when we had our cancer clinic, before we got shut down actually, is start cleansing people out and avoiding all of the toxins that they're exposed to in their environment on a daily basis. And it worked so good that we weren't able to address and say, you know, we have a cure for cancer or anything like that. But don't you think that, I mean, I've realized over the years that everything is in simplicity. Because I used to have 250 different types of nutritional supplements in our cabinet that we could use. I mean, and we've used everything. I trained with the cancer doctors down in Mexico and Germany and all over the world, and we'd have all these elaborate programs. But one thing that we did when we were treating individuals was that every single person was its own person. I mean, we looked at each individual, and I think that you know, talking about all these endocrine disrupting chemicals, talking about how we can change the world, is that people need to take a look at themselves and realize, what are they doing? What are they exposing themselves to every single day? What is the stress levels? How much sleep are they getting? And really, the simple part about becoming healthy and becoming aware is becoming aware of what you're doing and what you're putting in your body on a daily basis. How do you feel about that?
Well, you know, I think we've had so many victories, just speaking on BPA, or high fructose corn syrup, or GMOs. I mean, a poll came out yesterday, and I just read it earlier, that GMOs are now one of the most hot topic issues in the United States, according to a major poll, and I think it was Gallup. So what that shows me, and what it shows me when major food producers are just completely cutting out high fructose corn syrup, is that we are actually achieving victories and defeating the food corporations only by the mere fact they know we will not buy their crap unless they change it. And it also reminds me, however, that we have to stay vigilant in this effort and continue to maintain our health. Because let's say, as you saw multiple times earlier when we did a video about the contaminants in food that you talked about on air as well, an average individual that is eating organic and, you know, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, they're still missing little loopholes in this system. So, for example, you could be having a BPA-free water bottle, but is it BPS-free? Well, you say, what is BPS? Bisphenol S. And you say, well, I thought there was just bisphenol A. And if you pull up the Wikipedia page, which I think we have back there for BPA, bisphenol A, it's extremely extensive. It's just, you know, breast cancer, prostate cancer, you know, induced narcolepsy, just every possible thing in the world is up on that Wikipedia page from all the research, right? Because there's hundreds and hundreds of studies, despite Susan G. Komen teaming up with KFC and making pink buckets for the cure and denying that BPA has any association. But then you look at the BPS, bisphenol S page, and how much is there? There's enough to scroll for 0.01 seconds. I mean, there's almost nothing in there. So what happened is they went ahead, and if you actually read the description, BPA is extremely blah, blah, blah. If you read bisphenol S, it just says it's basically the same thing as BPA, but it has a different name. So what is that? That's a corporate manifestation of screwing us over. It's calling BPA BPS, and it is a little different. And they put it in the plastics, and they say it's BPA free, but it has BPS in it. So thankfully now when I go to Whole Foods, it says BPA and BPS free, because people are waking up about it. But that's just one of the ways that they'll continue to attack us over and over and over again, even when we achieve these victories, because the food corporations are constantly thinking up new ways to trick us into eating their poison crap, because they don't want to spend one penny more. And it brings me back to McDonald's, too. So McDonald's, obviously, their CEO got fired because their revenues are just not making the cut. They're underperforming the market. They're not growing. Some people say, some top economists say they actually could go bankrupt within the next 5 to 10 years. Well, why is that? It's not just that their food is garbage and full of GMOs. It's not just that it doesn't even taste good, and even people who are low income can go to Whole Foods and buy a salad for $4. It's not just that.
It's that they are so obtrusively evil in the sense that they refuse to spend 2 pennies more to remove the crap from their food. So, I mean, honestly, they make so much money, they could really just source non-GMO stuff and do a huge public campaign. We're non-GMO now. Do you know how many people would go to McDonald's? Chipotle makes money off of that, saying we're going to start labeling GMOs. Even like,
didn't McDonald's buy Chipotle or something, and then they sold it back because they wanted to come in and use all their own ingredients, and Chipotle was using and sourcing organic products in.
It was their last hope to be relevant again.
Well, look how long it took for the organic, first of all, Whole Foods comes out, and now you're finding organic sections in practically every single supermarket out there, which is great because it's the demand of the people. It's like if we want to make a change, then we need to, actually a good idea would be for somebody to develop some sort of a can that's not made of aluminum and lined with BPA. If we stop buying the chemicals, and if we stop buying chemical lotions and household products and cleaners, and if we use natural herbicides and pesticides, I mean, it's not hard. You can do it yourself stuff. You can go on Google and type in natural cleaner and mix vinegar and water and a little lemon juice, maybe some orange peel, soak some orange peel in there. I mean, it's very inexpensive. You're not polluting.
Coconut oil is a makeup remover, by the way. All the women out there listening, use coconut oil. It costs like $4 instead of the makeup removers and the alcohols that you use, and it saves your face instantly. But what I think it boils down to, and you could ask any of the economists about this, the market doesn't actually reflect what the people want for a very long time. So I think now we're seeing Whole Foods explode, and non-GMO is the #1 thing now. It's the #1 trend in the industries because people are actually getting options. I mean, I still go to the store and I try to find organic things, like I can't find organic squash or organic beets these days for some reason. But I go out and I can't find that. As soon as that is available, it's going to skyrocket. But these options aren't available yet because the market is lagging behind reality. So we're pushing it forward in an ultra-dynamic system, and their old, sluggish, multi-generations old, like McDonald's system is just trying to pull us back in and act like they're trendy and cool with their Super Bowl ads. Like, hey, we're healthy, we have salads. It also contains a yoga mat chemical that's banned in most countries. So, it's a total ploy system to get you back roped into this archaic aging system. And that's how we have to think about it, as a ratty, molding cave that we're just being pulled back into. Because the #1 way they're going to get us is not by actually changing their ingredients, and that's the only way to survive now, is by using marketing ploys to make us think that what we're doing is eating healthy. Like when you eat a salad at McDonald's, you might as well just eat the Big Mac. Or when you're drinking diet soda, it'd be better for you to just drink regular soda.
Yeah, you know what the sad thing is? That it's sad to see people that are just suffering year after year after year. And I was telling you about that show we did. The amazing thing is we wanted to try to transform that person's life in 90 days. One of the individuals, we were going into their house, had been suffering with severe asthma. I mean, she had a symptom list of probably 50 things she was suffering from. So what we did was we came in, we completely replaced everything in her house with natural alternatives. All of her foods we switched to organic, and then we did one thing. And we started her out with an intestinal cleanse, then we moved on to liver and gallbladder cleansing. And talking about liver and gallbladder cleansing, all these supplements at the InfoWars Life, I mean, everything is designed to help cleanse your system, help boost your system, help balance your system so some of these symptoms can go away. And when we cleaned her up, within 90 days, the majority of her symptoms were gone, and she was living her life again. Now, can you imagine the millions and millions and millions of people out there that can benefit from something so simple as cleansing the body? That's why you look at all of the ancient texts out there, all of the religious texts, I mean, anything, the ancient Egyptian texts, and they all talk about the importance of cleansing the body, or at least fasting for one day, or doing something to cleanse your system. And that, how many toxins were around back then? There weren't even
years ago
any chemicals back then, and now there's millions upon millions of chemicals that are disrupting your brain function, disrupting your organ function, all your endocrine disrupting chemicals. And I keep harping on endocrine because what's happening is this is a design for future generations, because what they're seeing now is you manipulate the genes in the fetus, and then for 4 generations, you can have problems. So they're setting the stage for 4 generations in the future being on.
And we're going to talk about the ways to avoid those coming up after this break, and we're going to continue on throughout the 30-minute session.
It's no secret that government and big business buy in bulk and get huge discounts not available to the little guy. Until now. Introducing a breakthrough crowd buying website where people can join together, buy in bulk, and get massive discounts on millions of popular products. It's TogetherSave.com. TogetherSave.com. You can save 20, 30, or even 50% off tablets, smartphones, cars, appliances, textbooks, sports equipment, video games, and much more. All with free delivery. Check it out. TogetherSave.com. Visit now and start group buying today at TogetherSave.com.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
The experts are clear. Sunlight, purified water, healthy non-GMO food, and having a good attitude is essential to a healthy immune system. But I go further with Super Nascent Iodine X2 from InfoWarsLife.com. 50% stronger than our original and revolutionary Nascent Iodine formula, coming from a deep earth crystal source that no other supplier has. Most other forms of iodine come from seaweed in areas plagued by Fukushima and other contaminants. Not our iodine. It comes from over 200 million-year-old crystal salt deposits and is tested and proven to be completely pure. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. See the informational videos. Read the information they're compiled. And for a limited time, when you use promo code NOW at checkout, you get an additional 5% off the entire family of InfoWarsLife.com products. Secure your Survival Shield X2 today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
What good is a Big Berkey water filter?
We get that question a lot here at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And in a word, the answer is protection. Protection from water main breaks, E. coli contamination, environmental chemical spills, pesticide runoff, chlorine taste and smell, and all forms of fluoride. Plus, Big Berkey water filters are the original gravity water filter system and most trusted on the market for a reason. Tested by multiple independent NSF EPA certified labs, they are the gold standard in water purification. At only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. That means big savings. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get a Big Berkey today at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit our website or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right, that's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100 foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
Don't worry. This show is documented. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
I fell into a burning ring of fire.
Hi, I'm Dr. Group filling in for Alex Jones. And this last segment, I'm talking with Anthony Gucciardi, and we've kind of been going over some of the toxins that you find in your home and some of the natural ways that you can eliminate these toxins and actually keep your body clean. And I was talking about the importance of cleansing, Anthony. It's amazing that you can get such good results with something so simple. You know, you look at the medical profession and there's, all this documented research behind this, and most of it's paid by the pharmaceutical companies. I mean, really, if you look at clinical trials, like what we were talking about before, every single person is different, right? Everybody has a different diet, a different environment when they live, different stress levels. How is it possible? It's not possible to do an accurate clinical trial on a group of people unless you put them in a cage and you feed them exactly the same thing every day. You expose them to the same stress levels every day. You expose them to the same air quality, water. I mean, all of those variables. So really, it's impossible to have an accurate clinical trial. And, you know, I'm always looking for the simplest things that people can do. And it really comes down to recognizing what you're putting in your body, what you're being exposed to, and getting rid of that and replacing those things with natural alternatives and cleansing your body on a regular basis.
Well, here's something interesting. I mean, cocaine, marijuana, and heroin have more real trials than most pharmaceutical drugs. I mean, straight up, they have more testing over periods of decades than most pharmaceutical drugs. And you talk about that because they say, we take individuals, we give them the drug, they all are the same, doing nothing different besides taking this drug. Well, what do? Oh, well, they can eat whatever they want. You know, they can resume their normal lifestyles is what the study will say. But what is their normal lifestyle? Someone might go home and eat organic bananas, and the other person might go out to Popeyes and McDonald's and eat that every single day. So what is normal? What is the real trial? You know, there's no real information on that part. And then it brings me back to, you know, some of the studies where, let's say BPA, for example, or GMOs or anything like that. It's always there's always two studies. It's really funny because one is bad, right? It's not enough. But two studies are funded by the industry that wants to keep selling it, right? Like Monsanto or whatever. They'll fund two studies because they say in the scientific method, you know, you need two studies, and there'll be 100 studies saying it's dangerous. But there's those two studies, and they'll cling to those two studies in the FDA, and they're ruling for BPA because they almost banned it. It was a $100 billion industry, though. There was numerous lobbyists who they just kept pushing it. There's two studies that say it's safe. There's these two studies. Who's it paid for? Oh, paid for by, of course, the BPA producers. There's over 100 studies that link it to breast cancer, but there's these two studies. And what does Monsanto say? There's two studies that we have that show that GMOs are perfectly safe, even though when we give it to rats, they all die and get tumors, or just literally farmers freaking out saying, I give my pigs GMOs and they die. So to me, what's more important than even these studies, and you can go to the National Library of Medicine and type in iodine and get hundreds of studies, or you can type in oregano oil, or you can type in vitamin D, which everyone knows is good for you, even though they say you're not allowed to have the sun anymore. But you can't actually get an accurate description of what something like a statin will do outside of the side effects for your actual beneficial health. That's why they have statistical lying, which was created by the guy, by the way, who said that tobacco and cigarettes were perfectly safe, and he's also the same guy that said organic and non-organic are the exact same. The father of statistical lies. That's his actual name. Ingram Olkin is his name. He works with Stanford. And they said that organic is the same as conventional food.
One thing that just amazes me is that people don't look at the labels, and especially with children. You know, I just talked to some moms that are pretty much organic, but they're hooked on CNN and they watch the news all the time, and they're worried about the measles. They haven't given their kids the whole rounds of vaccinations because they do believe that vaccinations are bad. And all of a sudden, they're watching all this stuff about the MMR and how, you know, their kid could possibly die, and all of the unvaccinated children, and they get scared and they run out and they give their kid the MMR vaccine. My question is, how long does it take to punch in the internet and say, what's in an MMR vaccine?
Hormones.
I mean, if you look and just do a little bit of research and you see what's in it, I mean, that's a no-brainer. I'm not going to put, if I can't pronounce half the stuff in there, like Triton X and formaldehyde and everything else, I know, I mean, instinctively, you should know that that's not good to inject into somebody.
I wouldn't even be speaking out against vaccinations if they didn't contain those things. You know, obviously, the people, the elite, the in the know individuals receive clean ones without hormones, antibiotics, and everything like that. Well, I was amazed by all this we got to pack into this short 30 minutes on the show here, but Alex will be back tomorrow from 11 to 2 as usual. Thanks a lot, Dr. Group, for filling in for Alex.
Thanks for everybody listening. Go through your house, look at what you have, start throwing everything else. If you don't know what it is, go online and search for it.
We're on the march. The empire's on
government.
The empire's on the run.